How are you feeling?
Well,
How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
To give you some idea.
I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them. I am trying to do with my life something which few people try to do, and this influences my thinking and consequently my action.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
Play the piano for people.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.
this the end? There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? Oh, I'm burning in the dystopia. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the dystopia. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the dystopia. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the dystopia. This is the final sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be out you.
Won't anybody help us? What are we running for? When there's nowhere we can run to anymore. Can't afford to be innocent. Stand up and face the enemy. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible. And with the power of conviction, there is no sacrifice. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible.
Who the fuck is Karlyn? She's just some sweet lady. She's like in a knitting. She does like a knitting stream. She's like a knitting YouTuber. She does knitting.
Can we grow up a little bit and
Alt
not
Girl
be
sent
retarded?
$200. Have you
Please.
seen the work of Karlyn Borysenko? Anti-commie cult leader and is obsessed with looking at what actual far-left communists are talking about and organizing today, infiltrating them. They infiltrated the universities, schools, media. She has the receipts to back it up. Primary source evidence. Infestation is dire and she calls Republicans idiots eating slop. Agree.
Thank you for the big super chat. Yeah, oh, I know Karlyn B. She's solid. She's funny. I
The
like
Great
her.
Noticer sent $200.
Literally.
So
not
it's,
Ian.
it's not a because I haven't dangled my junk into the combat zone on purpose to get some camera footage. But that's the big part of what's the
Is
problem.
that what you call reporters?
Go
and live
under if
streaming?
you're going to do it.
Yeah,
go
seriously.
undercover. Otherwise, you're wearing a hunk of meat in a lion's den. Nick Shirley, I love you. Take care of yourself, man. Karlyn Borysenko went undercover. Do stuff like that. Like if you want to expose this thing, don't pariah, please.
But Ian, here's and I agree with you to an extent.
I watch these streams, and I've been watching a self-professed fascist named Karlyn, who drinks and basically roasts these live streams. But weirdly, she has apparently embedded herself with Antifa before, and so it's such a funny stream because like,
So they tolerate her?
oh no, not anymore. She like, no. She's like, I mean, I don't know if she's trolling or not, but on her stream, she's like, I am a fascist.
Right.
So she's proudly proclaiming she's a fascist. I don't know how much of that is trolling, how much of it is real, but conservatives who are drawn to her stream will say things like, these people are funded by George Soros. And it's the funniest thing because she gets so mad. And she's like, get off fucking Fox News. Stop watching that shit. It's all wrong. Do these people look funded? Do these people look like they have money? They're not funded. It's so, and I guess her bigger point is by saying these are funded agitators and not saying what they actually are, which is anti-capitalist revolutionaries, you dilute what's really happening. Because what's really happening, according to her, and I think a fair amount of people, is that the economy is so fucked. The middle class is diminishing so much. The cost of living is so high that this is the perfect soil you need if you wanted communism to grow anywhere.
Why did it mute me? Why did my computer? I don't know. I don't know why I was just muted. I don't know. As you guys know, I am a professional streamer on the internet because I came on muted and didn't know why I was muted because sometimes the streaming software just does things. And I got to apologize to Rumble because I totally forgot to set the stream up on Rumble when this whole thing started. But we're back. We're back, Rumble. You're fixed. Okay. I don't want anyone coming over here from Rumble complaining. You can go back over to Rumble. All right. I fixed the stream. The stream is fine. The stream is now working on Rumble. See, this is the type of just complete professionalism that you get on my channel. Do you guys get this level of professionalism with any other live streamer on the internet? I think not. I think not. But you know what? It has been, the last 12 hours or so have been very interesting. Now, I want a show of hands in the chat. I would like a show of hands. How many of you were on last night's spy stream? How many of you joined me for the epic double feature that we had last night? 1 in the chat if you joined me for last night's spy stream. 2 in the chat if you didn't show up to it, either because you forgot about it or you're not a supporter yet or any of these things. Do we have like how many ones do we have in the chat? You guys can now see your stuff on the screen. So you can see there, like I think I got a couple of super chats. I'll take them as people are doing that. Cover charge from 1. Yes, everyone send in your cover charges or buy your channel memberships. And I think before the end of the stream is over, you're going to want to be buying a channel membership if you haven't got one already. And I will explain that. Thank you, Juan. I do appreciate it. Kino Casino did a video recently. Sticks said he only had a month to live. Initial thought, yeah, okay, sure, bro, but maybe I'm being too cynical. I hope that Styx lives longer than a month. That would kind of suck if he didn't, but I don't know anything about that, Newer too. Thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. So last night's spy stream was a stream for the ages. We do spy stream all the time on this channel. We go inside live leftist trainings. We watch them live on the internet. 5 gifted channel memberships from Surrey. W's in the chat for Surrey. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for donating to the channel. We really can't do it without you guys. And welcome to the 5 new channel members. Welcome to the cult. You guys are never leaving now. It's all over. We own your soul now in the cult. Welcome. Congratulations. Thank you for the super chat. Here's to you fund. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, why YouTube channel memberships are important is because when I do spy streams, they are supporter exclusive streams. The reason that spy streams are supporter exclusive is because I used to stream them just publicly for anyone. And then a lot of retard content creators would come in and try to sabotage my work is basically what happened. Is I have people who spy on me on the internet all the time. I have people who obsessively hate watch me, and they're just waiting for a moment to come in and try to sabotage my work. And most of those people are on the right, by the way. They're not on the left. They're on the right, or they're classical liberal retards or something like that. Anyway, so years ago, I decided that because my spy streams kept getting screwed up over and over and over again, I decided, I was like, this is going to be much less prone for error if I just make it a supporter exclusive stream. And that way people who have a little bit of skin in the game, because it's not expensive to become a supporter of mine. It's like $5 a month, $8 a month. Like it's less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, let's be honest. So I'm not asking for you guys to break the bank here, but like I thought, I want to give a little benefit to my supporters because they are funding my work. I am independently funded by people who just want access to the information. And then after the spy stream, if anything happens on it, I make the clips publicly available. So if there is something important that the public needs to know about, and that doesn't happen all the time, to be honest. Sometimes we do spy stream and nothing happens. And that's just the way it goes because we don't know what we're walking into. We're watching a live training. We don't know what's going to happen yet. But sometimes spy stream ends up going viral on the internet. Sometimes spy stream ends up getting people fired from their jobs. Sometimes spy stream ends up on Fox News. Sometimes you never quite know what's going to happen with spy stream. But I knew going into last night, I knew that one of the presentations had a lot of potential, let's just say. So one of the spy streams we did last night, we went inside a student organizing call for the Sunrise Movement and Socialist Alternative, where we were on a private Zoom call that was not being recorded and that wasn't infiltrated by anyone else that I'm aware of. We were on a private Zoom call in which these student organizers from all over the country just spilled the beans out loud over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, I've gained about 11,000 Twitter followers in the last day because of the amount of attention that this has gotten. And the funny thing is, and I genuinely did not expect this, guys. The funniest thing is, you know what? There's so many times in my life. There's so many times over the past several years where I have genuinely, like, I have stumbled upon something that the left is saying or doing, and I'm like, this has to go viral. This has to go viral. This is crazy. I have so many times where I hear the left say something in one of their trainings, and I'm like, how is this not going viral on the internet? And quite frankly, that's made me very cynical because I'm like, okay, maybe people just don't care about this stuff like I do. Well, last night after we did that spy stream, I just shot a video into my phone saying, hey guys, I was just on this really crazy spy stream and here's some of the things they said, and I'm going to go and clip this now and I'm going to release the clips tomorrow. And that's basically what this video says, less than 3 minutes long. It's me saying, I just saw this crazy training and here is what happened. And it goes viral on the internet. And I didn't even have any of the clips in it. I literally just posted it as an update to people because I was excited about it. And this has just got to be a lesson to people. You literally never know what's going to go viral on the internet. I have gone viral so many times, like literally without trying to go viral. Like I had no clue that this video was going to get, it's up to almost 400,000 views. Just me saying, hey guys, I watched this crazy thing and there's going to be some crazy clips coming. But that's awesome. That's awesome. And I really do appreciate everyone that's sharing it and retweeting it and, commenting on it and stuff like that. I just didn't expect it. And it's like for people who haven't been around the channel a long time, you have to understand, we have put so much content out into the ecosystem that is really important that people need to know about. And it just gets ignored every time. It gets absolutely ignored. And so when something actually happens and this information actually goes viral, it is genuinely a surprise to me when it happens because we're so used to things not happening because that's just the general rule. Like every time we find something crazy, nothing happens with it. that like when something actually happens and people actually pay attention, it's kind of like it's a weird feeling. It's like I'm being watched by too many people. I'm a little uncomfortable about this right now. I don't know I don't know how I feel about having 400,000 views on something where I was barely wearing makeup and was really tired when I filmed. Like I don't know how I feel about that. But you know what? Those are the games we play, and I will do what is required to get the content out there. And so that was just a really nice surprise. And then this morning, I actually posted it on the Substack later last night, and I posted on some YouTube channels. But this morning, I posted a 27-minute highlight reel from that spy stream last night. I was up all night editing this stuff and going through the clips and making sure I had all the best sections of it. And all the best that spy stream was so impactful that the highlight reel is 27 minutes long. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. The highlight reel for this spy stream, which is only the good stuff where they're actually saying things that are relevant, 27 minutes long. And I put that out there thinking, okay, well, I get told all the time that I need to boil something down into a 5 or 10 minute video. This is just going to have to be how long it is, because a lot of crazy stuff was said on this spy stream. And don't worry, if you haven't seen the video yet, we're going to watch it and we're going to replay it and we're going to relive this little nightmare just for public consumption. If you've already seen it, guess what? You can see it again. All right. You can see it again. It'll be fine. This has almost 75,000 views on Twitter. That's not too bad, guys. That's not too bad. Now, I am hoping that with the help of everyone in the chat right now, I'm hoping we can make this shoot to the moon in terms of virality. I want to really challenge everyone on the chat today. Make sure you are making this post go viral. I'm going to put it in the chat and I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I need you to do, okay? Make this go viral. I am putting the tweet in the chat on YouTube. I'm putting it on Kick. I'm putting it over on Rumble. It doesn't show up on Twitter. On Twitter, you can just go to my pinned post. And I want you guys to do 5 things for me on this post. And if every single person watching right now does these 5 things, I promise you the views on this post and the awareness of what this group is doing is going to skyrocket into the stratosphere. So I need everyone to log into their Twitter account right now. I need you to do 5 things for me, and then we're going to watch the thing and we're going to talk about it. We have some other stuff to talk about too today. And we're doing another spy stream tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing it all over again tonight. So if you missed last night's spy stream, hey, guess what? You got another opportunity. So here's what I need every single person to do to this post. You all on your Twitter, you all ready? I need you to bookmark the post. Bookmarking contributes to the algorithm. It lets YouTube or Twitter know that people think this is important, and it serves it to more people. I need you to put a heart on the post. That also impacts the algorithm, and it lets X know, or Twitter, which I will always call it Twitter. I'm never calling it X, by the way. It will always be Twitter. It lets Twitter know that that this is important, that people want it. Here's a really important one. I need you to say anything, say a thing, say anything in a reply to the post. I need you to reply to the post. Either comment on the post, tag people that you want to see it, say this is insane, this is crazy, the left sucks, I hate. You can literally say whatever you want, it doesn't matter. But when Twitter sees a lot of people replying to a post, it says, ooh, this is something important. I need to show this to more people. See, the thing is, guys, I fucking hate Twitter. I hate it. But the fact is that the only thing that politicians care about in the Trump administration is things going viral on Twitter. So in order to get people in decision-making positions to pay attention to this content, we have to make this go viral on Twitter. It is literally the only way to get these people's attention. And so we got to play by the rules of the game we're playing. They are obsessed with Twitter. The content creators are obsessed with Twitter. The politicians are obsessed with Twitter. The news media is obsessed with Twitter. Literally every single person that can help us amplify this content and maybe actually do something about it, they are all obsessed with Twitter. So we have to make it go viral on Twitter. What post are we talking about? The post pinned to the top of the chat on YouTube right now. It is also pinned to the top of my Twitter. Okay, so we have bookmarked, we have liked, We have replied. I need you guys to do 2 more things on Twitter to really help this go viral. I need you to retweet it, just plain repost it, and then I need you to quote tweet it. And again, just like the reply, write whatever you want in that quote tweet. Just do not start it with a hashtag, okay? Do not start the tweet with a hashtag, because then it's only going to show up to people who are also following that person. You have got to start the tweet with like a regular letter, and you can tag people in hashtags after that if you want, but just do all 5 things: bookmark, like, reply, retweet, quote tweet. If everyone watching right now does this, the views on this post, I promise you, are going to skyrocket into the fucking stratosphere. How do you bookmark? Bookmark is this tab on the far right. That's the bookmark tab. So that's how you do that. Everyone done all those 5 things? 1 in the chat if you've done all those 5 things. 2 in the chat if you're being a slacker. I don't want to hear any complaints, guys. People tell me all the time. They're like, Karlyn, what can we do to fight the left? What can we do to fight the left? And I say, sit your ass down and learn. And they say, no, we want to do something. Well, guess what? I'm giving you something to do. Bookmark the tweet, like the tweet, reply to the tweet, retweet the tweet, quote tweet the tweet. Do all 5 of those things. Not 4, not 3, not 2, 5. Do all 5. Well, if you don't, we're gonna have to change that. We're gonna have to change that. You want to know why? Because if you can't get your ass on Twitter to be helpful to this, you are not interested in defeating the left. Get your ass on Twitter. I don't want any excuses. Go make a fucking account. You can have it be anonymous. It doesn't have to be in your real name. You can say whatever it wants. It doesn't even matter if you have any followers. If you do these things, you will contribute to tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions more people seeing this content. This is the difference between getting the attention of politicians and being irrelevant to them at all. So I don't want any excuses. I appreciate your support, Old Sub Sailor. You're an excellent supporter on the channel, and I really do appreciate it. However, suck it up, put on your fucking big boy pants, get your ass on Twitter. Okay? No excuses. No excuses. All right, everyone's done that. Now, how many people in the chat have actually watched the highlight reel from this call already? 1 in the chat if you have already seen the 27-minute highlight reel that I put together. 2 in the chat if you have not seen it yet, because I want to watch it on the stream today with everyone. Just for people who missed it, for people who didn't know we were doing Spy Stream last night, I think there are probably many of you that have seen it already, or at least parts of it. I also think there's probably a lot of you that have not seen it yet. And I think that it's useful to everyone to go through the highlight reel and to show you exactly and explicitly what these leftist student activists are saying, what they're doing, the different tactics that they're implementing, how they speak to each other when they think people like us aren't watching. If you've already watched it, maybe you just watch it again, because like it really is, there's so much in it. And I've had to watch all these clips like 4 or 5 times in order to do clipping, by the way. So I've already watched this thing several times. And you know what? I picked up new things every time I watched it. So I want to watch this. I want to watch this on the stream, especially for people who haven't watched it. And yeah, we will, because I can't speak on Spy Stream because I'm recording the meeting, but we can break it down and do additional commentary as well. And so that is one of the things we're going to do on today's stream. But that's not all. That is not all. That is not all. Let's talk about that in a second. JD Vance is in Minnesota today. And JD Vance gave a little speechy speech earlier. And so I want to go back and watch the JD Vance speech, and I want to talk about that. But I don't want people to think that I'm totally ignoring the fact that the Trump admin. Now, I basically think, I mean, people who watch my content, you guys are all very clear about this. I think the Trump administration is being useless in this entire situation with Antifa. I think they don't know what's going on. I think they aren't interested in solving the problem. But I don't want to be told that I'm not giving credit where credit is due, at least a teeny tiny, minute, very minute little drop of credit, where, guys, guess what? The Trump administration finally got off their fucking asses and arrested not 1, not 2, but 3 leftists in all of Minnesota. All the people doing leftist activism right now, all the people trying to impede the operations of ICE. By the way, we learned on one of the calls we listened to last night, 4% of everyone in Minneapolis is in one of those signal groups where they're doing rapid response organizing. 4% of every single neighborhood, at least, in Minneapolis is in those rapid response groups. We got that statistic directly from the Sunrise Movement executive director last night. Now, I know 4% might not seem like a lot of people, but just really think about that. That is thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people in those rapid response groups just waiting. And actually, I saw, actually, let me play you guys this. Hang on. You guys are going to love this. I got to get the sound set up for this. Hang on. I saw a video on Instagram earlier today that I put on my Twitter. You guys are going to love this video. So apparently, the left is so well organized in Minneapolis that it takes 2 minutes between the time when ICE shows up to deport someone and when leftists come on the scene in order to impede their work by videoing them and getting in their way and trying to hit them with a car and stuff like that. 2 minutes. I want you guys to listen to this because this is actually insane.
Response networks being created.
Oh, hang on. I don't have my sound set up correctly. I'm a professional streamer on the internet. I know how to set up my sound. All right. Take 2. Listen.
Response networks being created in Minneapolis right now are unmatched. For all other cities who have not yet been invaded by ICE like our city, 3,000 or more ICE agents abducting people on every block. Y'all need to take notes. Rapid response, hyper local. The chats that we have are of our street, then of our neighborhood, and the other neighborhood chats connect. If an ICE agent pulls up in my neighborhood, within 2 minutes, there are legal observers, people on bikes, people in cars ready to follow the ICE agent back out of the neighborhood and let the next neighborhood know that that ICE agent is on the move. Y'all, this is crazy. This is the future of the downfall of the empire. You need to get to know your neighbors and your city, and you need to be familiar with the people that will protect you in the same ways that you will protect them, y'all. This is insane. Response networks being created in Minneapolis right now are
They're getting there within 2 minutes of ICE showing up. It is an insane level of coordination and activism that is going on in Minneapolis. And make no mistake, guys, make no mistake. They are absolutely trying to replicate this all over the country. How do we know? Because if we go over to CrimeThink, which is Antifa's publishing arm, this is all they're talking about is these rapid response networks. Is it like, and they actually have a specific article. This is a specific article right here, and I want to read these on the channel. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow because we just haven't had time lately. Rapid response networks in the Twin Cities: a guide to an updated model. Antifa literally has a guide for how to recreate what they are doing in Minneapolis in cities around the country. And it's not as though they're starting from zero either, because they've been organizing these rapid response networks nationally for a year. This has been going on for a year. So I say that because, well, I will absolutely give Pam Bondi and the Trump administration the teeniest, tiniest little bit of credit for arresting 3 people. And by the way, I hope everyone understands the only reason they made those arrests is because the church thing went viral on Twitter. I cannot emphasize this enough. Had that attack on that church in Minneapolis, which was pretty tame compared to most of the shit the left does, if I'm really being honest about it. Like I have seen the left do way crazier things than go into a church and disrupt service, like significantly crazier. The only reason these arrests happened is because it went massively viral on Twitter. That's it. That is the only reason this happened. And and here's why I'm not giving them more credit. Because when Antifa and the far left have been allowed to build a massive underground organizing campaign that is now involving thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people in these signal groups that are literally just waiting to go out and impede ICE all over the city of Minneapolis. And they're like, hey guys, we beat Antifa. We arrested 3 people. It's over. We won. We saved Christianity. Like when they're like doing a victory lap on this, I'm like, Pam, do you even know what the fuck is going on in Minneapolis? Do you guys have any idea? So while I do think it is a good thing that they arrested these 3 people, do you guys understand that this is proof that they could always arrest people if they wanted to and they just chose not to? Look how quickly they moved when something went viral on Twitter with a left-leaning influencer that they don't like. And I don't want to hear anyone say, well, it's a good start. No, it's not a good start. No, it's not a good start. It's not a good start. That's like saying if my goal was to literally walk across the country, I was trying to complete a Herculean feat and walk across the country. And I just got out of bed one morning and I took a couple of steps. That's not a good start towards achieving the goal of walking across the country. That's like very low level basic behavior that always should have happened anyway. You don't get a substantial amount of credit for doing something because you were embarrassed on social media into doing it, so far as I'm concerned. Now, when the Trump administration starts bringing in buses and starts rounding up every far left anarchist in Minneapolis, I will give them credit then. When Trump comes into the ICE to the ICE facilities with buses to start arresting all of the protesters that are outside those ICE facilities in Black Bloc, I will give them credit then. When Trump actually starts implementing the executive order where he declared Antifa to be a terrorist organization, I will give them credit then, but I will not give them credit for arresting 3 people because something went viral on Twitter involving a former CNN journalist that they don't like, which is why it went viral on Twitter in the first place, when I have seen absolute and total lack of action and apathy towards every crazy thing that I've seen the far left do that is way worse than this church stuff. That's how I feel about the arrests. That's exactly how I feel about the arrests, and I wanted to make sure people knew that. Let's see, we got a couple other things. I want people to know that I do have some live coverage up on my screens. We've got BC Preachers outside the ICE facility. We've got BG on the scene, who is always and perpetually on the scene, and we appreciate him for that. Cam Higbee seems to be live outside of the ICE facility, so that's cool. So there's BG. Oh, no, Cam is not live anymore. Cam was live. Cam is not live anymore. That's okay. We got Cam Higbee's footage from the VP address earlier, but I do want people to know that as we are streaming today, I will put the live coverage above my head, so we will monitor what's going out and what is going on in front of the ICE facility live, so that we can go there live if anything happens. But we do just have a bunch of stuff to cover today, so because I do want to watch that video as well. One last thing before we get started here. One last thing before we really dig into it. Hang on. Let me see. I gotta get my screen up. So I know what I'm doing here. Okay. Hang on. Does anyone know who this crazy bitch is? Now, listen, I had never heard of this person, who I guess goes by Tor. I had never heard of this person until like a week ago. I genuinely have no clue who this person is. I truly don't. The only reason I even heard of them a week ago was someone came in my chat and said something about Tor, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is. And then someone else tried to explain it to me, and then a couple people said you should talk to her, and I said, I don't know about that, because like as a general rule, I fucking hate content creators. I hate them. I find content creators to be annoying, to be stupid, to be fame whores, to be uninterested in intellectual dialogue or discourse. And so as a general rule, when people tell me, Karlyn, you should talk to this content creator, I'm kind of like in my head, I'm like, I don't know about that. So I hate to break the hearts of everyone who told me I should talk to Tor, but I promise you, that's never going to fucking happen. Do you want to know why that's never going to fucking happen? Because when I woke up at an ungodly hour this morning, I woke up at 8 a.m. today. Do you guys know how early that is for me? I didn't even go to sleep until 4 a.m. I got 4 hours of sleep. I woke up at 8 a.m. This is the life as an Aries. We get no sleep. I woke up at 8 a.m. I never wake up that early and actually start being productive. Anyway. But for some reason, I picked up my phone at 8 a.m. and I started looking at my Twitter. And this crazy bitch, this insane fucking person, was literally all over my Twitter feed, all over her feed, with her retard followers coming into my feed saying, "You stole my video, you stole my video, you stole my video, you stole my video. How can you say you have an exclusive? You stole my video." Now, what's going on is I went viral on the internet, and Tor, who obviously isn't as smart as she thinks she is probably feeling a little bit jealous about the fact that I went viral on the internet for something that she allegedly had already done. So she started accusing me. She started saying, "You don't have an exclusive. You just stole my video. I streamed this, and it's on YouTube, and you just stole my video." And she started making all of these posts about me. And so all of her retard followers were coming into my feed going, "Why did you steal her video? Why did you steal her video? Why did you steal her video?" And then this crazy bitch started telling everyone, "You're just monetizing this. You're just monetizing this. You're only showing this to people who are monetizing." And I'm like, lady, are you fucking stupid? It was posted for free on my Substack. This dumb bitch, because I didn't post the highlight reel on Twitter last night because P.S. I was editing the highlight reel until like 3 a.m. And I'm not going to post a highlight reel to Twitter at 3 a.m. I'm going to post it in the morning when people are actually paying attention, not when people are asleep, because I'm a smart fucking person and you don't post important shit on Twitter late at night unless it's like an absolute fucking emergency. So I posted it on my Substack last night, totally for free, available to the public. I posted a bunch of clips on the Decode the Left YouTube channel last night, totally free, available to the public, and I posted on Twitter saying, "I will post it here in the morning. If you want to see it before the morning, go to my Substack." This crazy bitch was like, "You're just trying to monetize it." Look at the post. Like, I even took a screenshot of this. "She monetizes the shit people need to see. That's the problem. They act like people who pay them." So basically, this unhinged psycho was telling all of her followers, "Karlyn's just monetizing this. Karlyn's just monetizing it." Well, guess what, you dumb bitch? Guess what, you dumb bitch? It was never fucking monetized. The highlight reel was never fucking monetized. It was posted for free on my Substack, where every single person who wanted to watch it could watch it regardless of if they paid me money or not. But I have all her stupid followers in my feed going, "You're just a grifter, and baby, you're a cloud chaser. Why are you monetizing everything? Why are you stealing her content and monetizing it?" And So the first thing we had to do was dispense with the whole monetization lie that this crazy fucking bitch told. And I did that pretty readily. And I said, here it is. "To the retards who are telling people I'm monetizing this, perhaps you should click on the Substack before you run your retard mouth, because it's available completely for free and is not behind a paywall. I'm looking at you, you dumb bitch, Tor. Basic research is fundamental." So this is strike one for this crazy woman. But it gets even better. It got even better because, again, she kept running around, and this is all over her fucking feed. She posted about me multiple times saying, "She stole my shit, she stole my shit, she stole my shit, she stole my shit. Look, sweetheart, influencers like you monetize recycled info." I'm still trying to figure out what was recycled about this info because I recorded this live last night. "Well, posturing an oracle of breaking news of stuff that's been circulating for days." So this dumb bitch literally tried to tell people that I stole her video. So I started asking, I was like, "What video is it that you think I stole?" Because the highlight reel that I made was based off of a recording last night. Literally last night. I streamed it to over 200 people between Rumble and YouTube. I streamed it to over 200 people. So, and those were just supporters that were on the call that were watching. And so I was like, "Lady, what fucking video do you think I stole from you? Because I recorded this last night and you're talking about a video from days ago. Are you insane?" Well, I didn't get an answer from Tor. I asked Tor over and over and over and over and over again, what is the link to the video? 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 She wouldn't give me the link to the video she was claiming I stole. But one of her retard followers did. Do you guys want to see the video that they claim that I stole? Here it is. It was released publicly 7 prior to the post. So what they're saying is that Tor released this video that I said was an exclusive 7 days prior to when I posted it. The problem is, you dumb bitch, that I recorded that live last night. So when we click on the video to see what is it exactly that they think I have stolen, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? It wasn't the same video. So Tor is so smart and so intelligent that first off, she didn't even click on a link over to my Substack to investigate what the actual video looked like and what the content was. She just immediately assumed that I stole her video. And by the way, this is a low-level organizing call that she streamed. This isn't even that big of a deal. I didn't even stream this call. I knew about this call. I didn't stream it because I quite frankly knew exactly what they were going to say, and I just wasn't interested. But she streamed this to her audience apparently a week ago, and she just assumed, because she's a dumb psychotic cunt, that she had streamed the same video that I streamed, except that I recorded it last night and it was a completely different video, you stupid dumb bitch. So, I just want to clear that up. That if you guys happen to see an unhinged lunatic over on Twitter and her retard audience claiming that I stole something or I'm just doing it to monetize something, neither of which I've done, when very, very basic low-level research could have shown this psychopath that, oh my God, Tor, do you know that there's more than one leftist organizing call? Do you know that the left holds organizing calls literally all the time? Do you know that just because you recorded a low-level organizing call last week does not mean that's the same organizing call that I recorded last night? Do you know that there are different groups on the left, Tor? Do you know that they do different things? Do you know that we were watching literally 2 completely different fucking groups and you weren't smart enough to realize that, you dumb bitch? So here's what we've learned from this whole thing. And then we're going to get into watching the actual video I recorded, not the one the psychopath thinks I recorded. Here's what we've learned. Here's what we've learned. Tor is not smart enough to even breathe the same fucking air as me. I will never talk to this woman. I will never work with her. Her audience is a bunch of low IQ retards that will literally buy into anything she says. Not a single person involved in this entire scenario was capable of clicking on a link to freely available content to do a fact check before they started whining and complaining in my replies for hours. So, this bitch and her low IQ retard community are beneath us. They are not allowed over here. I'm very sorry. It's me, not you. I don't allow retards into my community. We have an IQ standard here. We have a bar of at least a 100 IQ in order to be a part of my community. And if people try really hard and they don't cause problems, they can be below that IQ. But when the low IQ retards are causing me problems, that's when we have to kick their asses out, because we are not an inclusive community that takes care of all your feelings and creates a safe space for you guys to whine and complain every time someone does something you don't like, or every time someone gets more views than you do on the internet. Like, we don't have an inclusive community here. We have an exclusive community, and we're going to keep it that way. So I'm sorry to break the hearts of everyone that wanted me to talk to this person. No. Politely. No. Declined. No. 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 Not doing that. Anyway, you guys want to watch the actual video? Do you guys want to watch the actual video that we recorded last night? 1 in the chat if you would like to watch the highlight reel from last night's spy stream call and go over it. 2 in the chat if you don't want to do that. You guys want to do that? Now you're gonna have an instance where it might actually, no, I can make it look so it's not double me. You guys want to see a trick? Hang on, watch this. Watch this. We're gonna make this so it doesn't look like double me. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. Now you only see one of me, you don't see two. How cool is that? We are going to watch this and we're going to react to it, guys. I'm going to put the live stream above my head. Hopefully, hopefully it works out. I'm going to put the live stream above my head of the protest organizing so that we can see what's going on. And well, hopefully I'm going to do that. I'll have to finagle with that a little bit as we're working our way through it. But guys, please do mount the like button if you would be so kind. Please do subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I am working on doing the most comprehensive anti-ICE protest coverage on the internet. I will bring you nuanced analysis of what's going on. I will show you inside their propaganda and their documentation. We will do live watch parties when there's organizing and protests and stuff like that. I do expect extensive coverage tomorrow and Saturday. Even though it's cold, they moved their rally. Has everyone heard they moved their rally inside tomorrow? So for people saying the left isn't going to do anything tomorrow, it's too cold. They're literally moving their rally into the Target Center. The left is having a giant, massive rally in the Target Center in Minneapolis tomorrow. I don't know how they're paying for that, by the way. I don't know. That's a really good question. Did the Target Center get donated to the left? Did they pay for it? Who's funding it? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Something to look into. But let's get this party started. And this is a live clip from the organizing call that we watched last night. And if you guys have any questions in the chat, please feel free to show them. Did I miss any super chats or anything? I want to make sure I got everyone. Oh, I did miss a couple super chats. I apologize for this. I apologize. Let's get some super chats in. Spy streams are a crystal ball that works. Did you get to see the one I made with the plague doctor? I posted in a reply. I did see that. I thought that was awesome, actually, Frida. I thought that was awesome. Thank you for posting that. Thank you for the money. Flashy says, I'm new here, repping former gays out there. You're former gays? I have a lot of current gays on my channel. I don't know that I have a lot of former gays, but welcome. I will support your tweet. For real, this blows my mind. I live in Minnesota. What can I do to help support your cause? Literally come to the streams, learn, share the information. That's really great. Tell other people to come to the streams too. If you can financially donate, and just be a good part of the community. And we will give you access to all the information we have about what's going on in Minnesota and beyond. And thank you for being here. Welcome to the channel. We appreciate it. And then we got Dorfus here. 4% is approximately 17,200 people. Guys, 17,200 motivated activists in Minneapolis is called an army. That's an army. That's an army of people. There are 6,000 ICE agents, or no, not even 6,000. There are 3,000 ICE agents in Minneapolis right now. They are facing an army of 17,200 people at a minimum. Really think about that. 3,000 ICE agents versus 17,200 activists that are highly organized, highly coordinated, and ready to go and video them and impede their deportations at any moment. That's crazy. Anyway, let's get into the video and let's listen to what happened.
I'm Sophia. I use she, they pronouns. I'm a member of Socialist Alternative in Seattle, and I go to the University of Washington here. We're so happy to have everybody here and see everybody's faces from all over the country who are ready to organize on their campuses.
I'm Earl. I use he, they pronouns. I go to Bard College in New York State.
Expansion of ICE, endless foreign interventions, like Earl was saying, into Greenland, Venezuela, Iran, the rising cost of living. These all stem from a system that prioritizes profit and power over human well-being. As wealth concentrates at the top, billionaires benefit, but everyday people pay the price. We are dedicated to overthrowing capitalism and authoritarianism completely, not just like eking out.
They're dedicated to overthrowing capitalism. Guys, you don't say. Thank you, Ibrew. Karlyn is my favorite content creator. I appreciate that, bro. That's very, very nice of you to say. Thank you for the super chat.
Slightly more humane existence for ourselves under these systems and replacing it with a system that meets the needs of everyday people. Socialism is when workers and students own all that they create, and we democratically run the economy, our universities, and our communities, making decisions for the needs of the many, not the profits of the few. What can we do to fight back? We certainly can't rely on Democrats. Under Biden, the Democrats did not abolish ICE.
They can't rely on Democrats. So you guys are telling me that these far left student activists hate the Democrats? You don't say. Hey, listen to them shit on the Democrats for 2 minutes.
They increased its budget and carried out the most deportations ever under a president. Still more at this point in Biden's term than Trump currently has. In Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, the mayor, made headlines for telling ICE to get the fuck out, but he's also blamed protesters.
What?
But he's also blamed protesters, Mayor Frey, for being violent and provoking ICE agents after the shooting of Venezuelan immigrant Julio Cesar Sosa. Tim Walz has been trying to appease Trump by calling off the protests and engaging in weak respectability politics, but that hasn't stopped the Justice Department from investigating both him and Jacob Frey. He doesn't want Trump inserting his control into Minnesota, and so Tim Walz is trying to appease and patronize the protesters, threatening to do Trump's dirty work and saying, "Hey, I'll call the National Guard. You don't have to do it. I'll keep my citizens in line. Thank you very much." And so he'll do it again, like he did in 2020. Governor Walz is the same guy who called the National Guard on Justice for George Floyd protesters.
Hang on. One sec. We're gonna do this right. Hang on. Okay, maybe we're still working on it. Still working on it. Okay, hang on. I'll let this play. I'm still working on the setup.
It's not a question of whether Trump will try to send ICE or border control or Homeland Security into every American city, but when. And we have to be prepared. Until we make it impossible for ICE to operate in our cities, until we shut things down and go on the offensive, they will continue to kick their way into our schools, hospitals, and communities. That's why we need to rise up and build working people's power.
Got it.
We need to be organized. We need to fight alongside working class people and students. We deserve a new political system that represents the needs of the people and allows us to take power for ourselves.
Right now, unions of workers in the United States have called for mass strikes in May Day 2028 to put pressure on billionaires and fascists.
Yo! See,
then,
maybe this is even better. Now you get two of me. You get the initial reaction me and the delayed. I'm working on the setup to get the ICE coverage above my head as we're listening to this. Okay, Chris. All right, I'm working on it. Effectual insurrection with the $20. Thank you over on Rumble. Army Arctic Airborne Battalion out of Alaska, Fort Bragg Military Police Battalion are both already called up and ready on deck. They're ready to deploy at any moment. Thank you for all you do. Well, we'll see if that actually happens, okay? We will see if any of that actually happens. I'm not going to hold my breath right this second, but okay.
We need to build as much power as possible and recruit as many people as possible. January 23rd represents an opportunity to show solidarity with Minneapolis and St. Paul and the Minnesota struggle while showing us who is really organized and how many more people we need to win. The general strike in 2028 will not happen out of thin air or just because we say so. No matter how many times we see a quote-unquote general strike or economic blackout posts in our social media pages, the only way to get the scale we need for a powerful May Day strike is by taking action right now and organizing our communities. The road to May Day has already begun. Organizers in the Twin Cities have been leading the charge in building real people power. They're sparking momentum across the nation because of their courage in organizing. Sunrise Movement Twin Cities has been leading wide awakes against agents that have been working.
So wide awakes are when they go outside the hotels and they make a ton of noise. We've watched they call them the wide awake protests. So basically, these guys are openly admitting we are the groups that are going out in front of the Hilton hotels and banging these pots and pans and making all this fuck off noise. And they're going to say deliberately that they're targeting Hilton, that they're doing it to kick ICE out of Hilton, that they're doing these things where they're calling up the hotel and booking out their rooms. But the most important thing, guys, the Sunrise Movement is training people on how to do this. So it's not just like that they're texting into the Signal group and they're going, hey guys, let's go do this thing right now. And it's like totally organic. They are actually training organizers to go and to do these protests. They're holding training meetings where they say, here's how you do a noise protest. You do this, and then you do this, and then you do this. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. They're preparing them to make sure they're doing everything legally so they can't basically get arrested for doing it unless they really screw up and stuff like that. So that is, I just really want people to think about this. The Sunrise Movement is a very large national youth-led movement, and they're actively holding training sessions in Minneapolis and probably around the country saying, here is how we are going to get ICE kicked out of these hotels.
That have been working, sorry. Wide awakes are when folks find the hotels where these ICE agents are staying at and make lots of noise. just agitate them and let them know that you're not going to get sleep for terrorizing communities. You're not going to get sleep for murdering our friends and family members. We're not going to let you have it. 2 hotels in the Twin Cities have now kicked out ICE agents because of our actions. Hilton is our major.
2 hotels in Minneapolis have now kicked out ICE agents because of their actions. And we heard on another call, and I posted this over on Twitter. I also posted it to the Substack earlier. We heard on another call yesterday that basically the hotels are talking to these activists behind the scenes, and they're saying, listen, guys, quietly, we're not going to house ICE anymore. And we actually heard too, they said some hotels are actually closing rather than host ICE at the hotel because of the problems that these student activists are calling. I'm sorry. We have to stop the stream. We have a retard in the chat. We have a retard in the chat. This is just about handbags and bitching, and you're a drama channel. Are you serious, bro? Hey, Kiss Cat, however the fuck you pronounce your retarded name. Listen. Will you please tell me what percentage of the time I spend talking about handbags on this channel and drama, and what percent of my time I actually am just doing far left analysis and showing you guys what's really going on and recording their phone calls that you don't even know what's going on? What percentage of my time precisely do you believe is used to talking about handbags and drama? Do you want to give us a guess there, dear, before I ban your retarded ass? We think you're in the wrong place. Can everyone just shame this retard? Can you guys give him a good shaming until he decides to either leave or I ban him? That'd be pretty great. Hey, we got effectual insurrection over on Rumble. As far as I know, if Governor Tim Walz calls a Minnesota National Guard, Donald Trump can federalize them and then report directly back to POTUS. These videos from last night were epic. Great job getting the terrorists on video. I really do appreciate that, effectual insurrection. And again, we'll see. We'll see if anything actually happens with that. But we'll see. And to be real clear, asshole, there are a lot of people on my channel that like the handbag talk. So literally go fuck yourself. I'll talk about whatever I want. Can you imagine being so insecure that you're like, you shouldn't be allowed to talk about anything that you like or makes you happy on this channel because of my feelings? Bro, get the fuck out. You're banned. Goodbye. Back to this.
Your target in this wide awake action. And Sunrises is now offering on-the-ground coaching for student organizers that are fired up and ready to take action in the Twin Cities.
On-the-ground coaching.
Unions in Minnesota have called for the first citywide strike in 80 years in this country. And it is our job as allies, supporters, and members of this nationwide movement to stand in solidarity and follow their example. This Friday, we are asking students to organize walkouts across the country. These actions will help us jumpstart our movement to fight capitalism. When students go first, their courage breaks the fever of fear.
The walkouts. So I hear this all the time from conservatives in my feed. I hear this all the time. I hear, Karlyn, what do they think the walkouts are really accomplishing? They're not even doing anything. Why are they doing all this stuff? The students that are doing the walkouts are telling you flat out, the point of the walkouts, the point of the strikes is to jumpstart the revolution against capitalism. Again, we'll listen to that part again.
These actions will help us jumpstart our movement to fight capitalism.
Like literally, they could not be more clear. The purpose of the walkouts, the purpose of the strikes is to jumpstart the movement to overthrow capitalism. Hey, thank you for the new handbag fund gift. I really do appreciate it. Does anyone else want to donate so I can get another used limited edition handbag on Whatnot? That'd be pretty great. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. But let's keep going. Thank you for the money.
When students go first, their courage breaks the fever of fear. Throughout history, students have been the key sector to turn the tide against authoritarianism across the world. When we, students, act first, the rest of civil society then follows. Students can bring the courage, the moral clarity, and action that inspires the other older generations to follow.
The last time an entire U.S. city went on strike for a day was in 1946 in Oakland, but that's about to change. It's really, really exciting. The 23rd will be the largest escalation in anti-Trump struggle since he's been elected. Our members, both in Socialist Alternative and in Sunrise, have been playing a big role in building this on the ground. It's massive because it will be the first time that the working class will strike against Trump. And only the united power of the working class can truly stop Trump, ICE, and the capitalist system responsible for terrorizing our communities.
Yo, can I tell you, Wally, can I tell you? The other night I saw the most beautiful clutch handbag on Whatnot that I've ever seen. It was it was a entirely rose gold clutch that was just shimmering and bright and beautiful. And it was so cheap. And I was like, oh, and I almost got it, but I was like, Karlyn, where the fuck are you ever gonna wear that bag? You're not like, it is a beautiful bag. It is a stunningly beautiful bag. And then I'm like, where are you ever actually gonna wear a shimmering, shiny, glowing rose gold clutch? Like we have to be practical at some point. Like I can use a crossbody bag that is beautiful and has like limited edition embroidery on. I can use that. I can use that in the real world. And I was like, oh man, I don't know. Like I tried to rationalize it and I couldn't even get my mind to bend to be able to do that. But maybe, Wally, with your contribution, maybe I have to take that as a sign from the universe and I'm meant to have that bag and go back and get it. I don't know. We'll have to see. Thank you, Bot, for being a member of the channel for 27 months. Karlyn, if the government came to you and asked if they could clone you 50 times to fight the communists, would you let them? Fuck no, I will. How much money are they willing to pay me would probably be the next question. My initial reaction is no, probably not. But if they dropped millions of dollars in front of me, or probably tens of millions, maybe even a little bit more, I'd have to seriously think about that. But I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't think we need to worry about it. You don't support addictions? Ops just did. Well, oops just said, okay, oops, got it, oops, I can read too. I'm a professional on the internet. Oops, yeah, you just supported my Whatnot addiction. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. What if they paid me in handbags? Do you think I trust the federal government to pick out collectible handbags? I don't trust. Listen, if I trusted the federal government to pick out collectible handbags, I would get a bunch of old, beat up tote bags that I don't even like, that aren't even limited edition, that aren't beautiful, that I'm never going to use, and stuff like that. So no, we're not trusting the government to pick out my collectible handbags here. Come on.
We students and teachers and our students and workers need to take power for ourselves, not rely on
You sell bags. You sell bags. At the moment, I am obsessed with Gucci limited edition handbags, padlocks, or Sylvies, or Dionysus. That's kind of like the thing of the moment that I'm really into. I mean, Chanel, you can't Chanel. Everything they do is good, but those Gucci is the big one right now. Gucci, anything with the fucking B, literally anything with the B, obsessed.
To exercise their power on behalf of us. When workers go on strike, not a dime of profit is made for the billionaire class. Schools shut down, buses don't run, and nothing gets made or sold. 17 Fortune 500 companies have their headquarters in the Twin Cities. So when workers there go on strike, those billionaires will be forced to listen to us. In order to win our demands, we need to be organized across the country. When we mobilize the united power of students in the working class, we keep our movement safe from co-optation and repression. The best way we, as student and workers, can build for this is to go back and organize walkouts, rallies, and strikes on the 23rd at all of our campuses. This struggle should be organized and fought with working class and student solidarity. We need a new working class party that can politically direct the organic energy bubbling over the surface right now. A workers' party would not just run candidates, but crucially is active and on the side of the protests and is democratically accountable to its working class and student membership. For instance, they would only take the average wage of their constituents, and they'd be subject to immediate recall. We need to bring in workers and students to call for ICE off of our campuses and out of our cities and shut down business as usual, because that's the only thing that Trump, the billionaires, millionaire university presidents, the boards they are beholden to, and corporate politicians listen to.
I'm Zeke. I go to the University of Washington in Seattle, and I'm a member of Socialist Alternative. And something that we've been thinking a lot about.
Oh, this clip is wild. This one is wild. This is where the socialist student activists tell you that they have been working with activist teachers in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that are distributing anti-ICE organizing material to their students. Listen.
Because we're planning to have a walkout on Friday, is how do we get demands that really reach people? Because, this is a scary time. Last kind of late winter, spring, Socialist Alternative worked together with the teachers in Milwaukee, because there was a teacher there, Alondra Garcia, who was suspended just because of spreading information to her students who were at risk from ICE. And so we were able to fight that with a rally and a petition. And so I think that really thinking about like what are going to be the demands that that students care about and draw them into struggle, and how can we expand this struggle to the workers on our campuses, because I think workers and students together is really where we have the most power. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm also at Turbine High School, and I'm
Oh,
new to
this is one of the most wild parts of this entire clip that we got. So let me set this up for you, because this is going to play out over the whole rest of this clip. Okay, so the highlight reel that you're watching right now, this is all in exactly the order it happened in the presentation. So I didn't reshuffle the order in the highlight clip so that you could see kind of how it progressed. Cynthia W with the 5 super chats. Cynthia, thank you for supporting the channel. As always, I really do appreciate it. So there was a high school student on the call who asked, what is the point of doing all these walkouts? What are we accomplishing doing all these walkouts? And throughout the rest of this clip, you're going to hear the college socialists try to convince the high school student that these walkouts are integral to their activism strategy and that they're super important. And they lay out all the reasons that they think these walkouts are productive. So again, if you're someone, and I know these people exist because they're in my comments literally all the time. If you're someone that has posted on the internet, what are they even accomplishing with these walkouts? Why are they doing this? Why are they wasting their time doing this? I want you to pay very close attention to the things you're about to hear in this clip, because you're literally going to hear from their mouth throughout the rest of this clip. Here is why we're doing the walkouts in the schools. Here is why we're doing the strikes. Here is how that contributes to our overall cause. For anyone who thinks that the left doesn't know what they're doing, for anyone who is under the absurd impression, the absurd retard impression that the left doesn't know why they're doing what they're doing, you need to listen to them explain it. Do we have a retard in the chat? I think I saw mention there might be a retard in the chat. Hang on. Oh. She does not fight communism. She promotes it. Guys, this is what we call a retard take. Goodbye. Deporto from channel. Goodbye.
this whole walking out thing. I don't understand much about it. Really,
See?
what
Look at
purpose?
this.
If you
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You still Miranda Bliss. I don't even know who the fuck Miranda Blissy is. We still can't find where you posted, but she said that we can come in here to expose to your fans that you are LARPing. What the fuck are you even... Do you guys understand what I have to deal with on this channel? Do you guys understand the pain that I have to deal with literally every single day from retards on the internet? You know, it was funny. Yesterday on Twitter, everyone started calling Reagan a socialist because Reagan was trying to explain to people what was going on. And so all these conservatives were in Reagan's replies calling Reagan a socialist. And I had to laugh at it because I was like, oh, Reagan has gotten an experience of what it's like to be me for a day. I was like, now Reagan really understands what it's like to be me. And I was almost a little happy about it. I was like, like everyone's always like, Karlyn, why don't you just ignore them? And then it happens to them and they're like, oh, yeah, you're going to leave, honey. You're going to leave. You're way too stupid to be here. In fact, you just got permanently banned. Yeah, the retardia is next level. It's so insane. It's so insane. But you know what's not insane? Cynthia's in with the 5 channel memberships. And Cynthia in the chat. We appreciate you, Cynthia. Thank you so much for supporting the content. Thank you. Let's continue.
don't mind me, I mean this not to come off what
Hang on,
whole
let's rewind a little bit. Listen.
and I'm pretty new to this whole walking out thing. I don't understand much about it, really. What purpose, if you don't mind me, I mean this not to come off, what purpose does this really serve? I mean, really, we're just walking out. It's not going to do anything, really. I mean this in like the kindest way possible. What's the purpose?
Yeah, I think there's a question probably on a lot of people's minds, especially where maybe ICE hasn't come to your city, maybe you're in a more like rural place, where there hasn't, been a lot of like prior walkouts or anything like that. And I think it's important to take this as an opportunity to get organized now. Like I'm a member of Socialist Alternative here in Boston, and we've had a lot of people had ICE come into their city, and there's been these major escalations in terms of well, like students walking out or unions, like we see in Minneapolis, unions coming together and stopping work. The idea coming up is to stop work, stop school, and stop shopping. It's to shut the economy down. And
the purpose is to shut down the economy. Again, these are college student socialist organizers. They know clearly they're not just doing this to get out of school. They're not just doing this because they don't want to go to school for a day. They're doing it because the purpose is to shut down the economy. And they are able to clearly are you fucking serious? Are you retard comment? No, retard comment. We don't no. Time out. You earned a timeout with that retard comment. That was next level fucking retardation. They guys, if you are listen, there are new people on the channel, so I'll give you the rundown. The left control the labor unions. How the fuck do they control the labor unions if they don't have jobs? The left controls K through 12 higher education or K through 12 education. How do they control K through 12 education if they don't have jobs? The left controls higher education. How do they control higher education if they don't have jobs? The left controls the news media. How do they control the news media if they don't have jobs? The left controls entertainment. How do they control entertainment if they don't have jobs? And et cetera, and so on and so forth. If you are under the impression that the left doesn't have jobs, you are not smart enough to be on my channel, and you need to think about that, because there is one way in which the left controls the labor unions. You can't control the labor unions without having a fucking job.
These actions don't have a lot of effect if we do them in isolation or in a like disorganized way.
This is what the retards of the internet have driven us to. Reagan and I for years have had a good cop, bad cop type of thing going on, where I yell at someone in the chat and Reagan swoops in and she's so nice. And for people who are new to the channel, you don't understand. Reagan is like the nicest person on this channel. Reagan will take the time out to explain any topic. She will share links. She will be very helpful. She'll be very kind. Reagan is the nicest person on this channel. Oh my God, we have another retard in the chat. We have another retard. Oh my God, these people. So you guys really need to understand that the retards of the internet have pushed us so far that Reagan is now becoming less nice. See, this is where our power really starts to grow. When everyone gets as pissed off as I've been for years, this is when our power will explode. Dorfus, accusation, you stole from, but we can't find it. How fucking retarded is that person? We deal in truth, not heresy, no evidence. Yeah. Where did I steal it from, assholes? Where did I steal it from? Still waiting for you guys to tell me where I stole this from. You can't, because you don't have a link, because it doesn't exist, because you're making shit up on the internet, because you're a bunch of bored retards. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it.
But that's part of why we're here today, so we can like coordinate with each other. But the fact that Minneapolis, like a lot of its leaders, like a ton of organizations and unions have called for this. They've also called for a statewide strike as well. If I'm not
No,
mistaken.
it's not possible that they did this. I bet they live streamed your content and said it was their content. You're not listening. It is not possible that they did this because I literally recorded this content live last night. And it was private. It was not live streamed last night. There was no public live stream of this content. I have the only recording of this content that exists, and we're watching it right now. So this is why no matter how many retards come in my chat and say, she stole that content, I have hundreds of people probably in the chat right now that were literally there when I recorded it live last night behind on an unlisted video that is not public on the internet.
Taken. So we're gonna show up and show our solidarity with the workers and with the students and with the people of Minneapolis. And if that's, you know, if that's all you can do, like you can also meet people, you can establish connections for when ICE might inevitably come to your city. And being connected puts you in a much less vulnerable position, I guess.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, my name is Mark, and I'm a student at Florida Atlantic University.
Florida.
And yeah, I'm a member of Socialist Alternative as well. Yeah, I think that was a great question. Why are we doing what we're doing? And I think the answer is that successful organizing requires like a series of escalating actions. If we were to say like, let's all like revolution on Friday, like it just like wouldn't happen, right? So we start with like low hanging fruit. We start with like winnable goals. We start with like something that's like achievable, and like by starting with those things, we can like raise people's confidence. We can like raise people's expectations, and I think that these like low stakes events are like an opportunity to like draw attention and to like build momentum. And then after we've done something successful, we can draw in more supporters. We can show that like the way to create change is through collective action, and more people will want to join us. So then we can take bolder actions, and then again and again and again. So we don't start with like everybody go on an indefinite general strike and in a week. We know that nobody would actually come out, but instead the task is to like how do we like organize. So yeah, the best place to do that is like the places where we already are. So like let's start with our schools, the place where we have the most influence. And if we start with a walkout, maybe eventually we can build up to a strike in the not too distant future. If we could start talking to our teachers and the faculty that work at our school.
So I want people to really think about this. The student organizers are not only planning, let's do walkouts in the high schools and the colleges, which they are doing and which did happen on Tuesday. If people weren't following, it wasn't reported in the news cycle, so people think nothing happened. That's not true. There were actually walkouts all over the country on Tuesday. It just wasn't reported in the media because nothing important actually gets reported. Hang on. Gotta ban another retard in the chat. Hang on. I'm not even going to continue acknowledging these retards that are coming in. I'm just going to ban them. But so it's not just that they're getting the students to walk out of their classes to shut down the schools. The students are also thinking, can we work with the teachers unions to get the teachers to support us in the anti-ICE protests, to get the teachers to shut down classes, to get the teachers to go on strike? If the teachers go on strike at the same time as we're walking out of classes, then the entire school gets shut down. Does everyone understand? The student, and again, I really want to emphasize this because I really think there are a lot of conservatives out there who are just like, they just don't want to go to school. That's not what is happening. That's not what's happening at all. They're putting together a strategic plan to say, how can we effectively shut down the schools, both at the student level and work with the teachers to get them to go on strike at the same time?
And what if we were to walk out and strike at the same time? So that's like an example of like, an escalation. So we're building towards, bigger and bigger actions. But the fact that we're like coordinating across the country, I think, makes it like more powerful than if we were to do them in isolation, like another comrade was saying. So yeah, I hope that helped answer part of your question.
I think January 23rd can be seen as like a test to see how many people are ready to strike and are ready to disrupt the status quo. And in like organizing terms, is usually called like a structure test. And we can see this as like a way to gauge how many people are on our side, how much of the masses are already engaged, and how much more do we need to build in order to reach like sustained mass non-cooperation. It also helps us with.
So you're going to hear them say this on the call. The big strike, for people who don't know, the left is building up to a big general strike in 2028 for May Day 2028. That is over 2 years from now. In between now and then, the left is going to be doing what I've called practice strikes, which is they're going to be trying to organize these like 1 day mass actions, or maybe they do it for a weekend, or maybe they do it for a week or something like that. They'll probably try to build up over time. But we're going to start to see a lot more of these strikes come from the left because they're trying to train people all over the country. Here is how you go on strike, because May 1st, 2028, they want all the unions across all the different industries, grocery stores, airline, auto worker, Amazon for deliveries and stuff like that, Starbucks, all sorts of all the teachers unions, obviously. They want all of the different unions to go on strike at the same time. Yeah. So tomorrow there is supposed to be a general strike in Minneapolis. And this was scheduled. I've heard a lot of conservatives say, they've said, well, it's too cold and it doesn't matter because people aren't going to go to work. This was planned regardless of the weather, guys. And more stuff is going to happen regardless of the weather. So the weather situation is kind of immaterial. The point is the left is training people on how to strike. We are going to see more of these mass strikes coming up over the next couple of years because they're trying to train people for the big one that happens in 2028. Now, what is also happening is the left is starting to do planning for May Day 2026, which is May 1st of this year, which is a Friday, which is going to be a huge national strike. I'm telling you right now, I'm probably going to be the first person on the internet to say this. Clip this video, play it for me on May 1st. On May 1st, 2026, we are going to see a giant national strike for a day. I promise you, this is going to happen. They're already planning for it. These were 2 organizing calls around this exact topic last night by different groups, okay? So that's something people should start to expect to see. And guess what? The point of all of this is to spark the revolution. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to use May 1st, 2028 to spark the revolution against the United States government. This is 2 years away, guys. This is real. I need everyone to lock in. This is real. Well, it is working. Well, it is working. So you can stick your head in the sand, but I'm going to put you in a 5-minute timeout. You're either going to shut the fuck up and listen or not. What time is the walkout tomorrow? I believe it's scheduled for 2 p.m. They're going to do a march, and then there is going to be a rally indoors at the Target Center. I posted this schedule on Twitter earlier. I'll be covering it live.
Like keeping momentum as we keep building and we keep hitting the streets, we need to like be riding the momentum. So yeah.
I think it's
My name's
Central Time.
Allie.
Central Time.
I use they, she pronouns. I'm a member of Socialist Alternative up in Milwaukee. I also helped plan a walkout at my high school before I joined Socialist Alternative. I am going to come in real quick to try to answer the question of like why walkouts.
Hang on. We got a super chat. How do we combat and educate people about the buildup to May 1st, 2028? You just got to keep talking about it. We just have to keep talking about it. Listen, we have a very important ally in this particular educational campaign, which is Harrison Smith at InfoWars. Harrison Smith at InfoWars is completely tuned in. Harrison Smith at InfoWars. What the fuck? Hang on, I'll deal with that retard shit in a second. Harrison Smith at InfoWars is completely clued in on the 2028 stuff. He's had me on his show multiple times to talk about it. He pays attention to this actively. And so we do have that in our back pocket, in that he does have a very large platform that he can, educate people about this as well. And we have the ability to communicate with him. Hopefully he communicates information to his audience. That's really awesome. But we just have to keep talking about it. And guys, again, I promise you, I know people don't want to be on Twitter, but you have to listen to me. If there are a metric ton of us talking about it on Twitter and sharing clips of it on Twitter and being in people's replies on Twitter, then they are going to start talking about it, because all the people, all the content creators care about is what's relevant on Twitter. That's it. So that is, I truly, and it, again, it really burns me that this is the reality that we have. But the more that this community can make shit go viral on Twitter and be hounding people in the replies and be hounding people in the DMs and be and be just like pushing this information, getting as many views on it as possible, the more likely it is people are going to start talking about it, because Twitter is all they care about. Thank you for the super chat. What is this retard thing? Miranda Blissy sent me why you oh god, this is, who is this? Why you steal her they anti-ICE video? Is that English? They think N was to boost your clout in the community. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. She sent her Discord to expose you until we find where you posted it. Blue Sky watchin'. Well, tell the retards on Blue Sky I'm not afraid of you, and I don't even know who the fuck you are, and you are immaterial to my work, and you're just gonna get banned in my chat, and no one really cares. And maybe learn to speak proper English.
Specifically, and why we're sort of taking that up. On some level, a walkout is basically a strike, just like a strike of students instead of a strike primarily of workers. And in order to make this strike most successful, a strike is fundamentally like trying to shut down the profits of the businesses in order to gain things from those corporations.
Hang on, we got a super chat. The left plans years in advance, and we can't even react to a 2-year-old plan, but Pam Bondi says it's winter and the dragons are coming. Yep. Thanks for the money and the dystopian nightmares. So true.
A walkout essentially serves the same purpose by aiming to shut down the school system and escalate organizing among students and workers. So when you're planning a walkout, some of the things you should consider are like, is there a teachers union at my school? And how can I get in contact with them? How can I get them involved? How can I how can I try to get the teachers to walk out with us and actually shut down the school? How can we connect with other community organizations? How can we plan something beyond this? Can we maybe use the walkout as a tool to organize another action or link up with a strike that is going on in your city? The January 23rd stuff is super, super exciting, specifically for that reason. So yeah, I can stop there.
All right. Thanks for that. Got Michaela, and then looks like I have
Blue Sky is
Samir.
watching.
I probably have time for one more person. We take half-baked thoughts, we take quarter-baked thoughts, whatever's best for you. We take questions. I think these past couple people coming in have said really good things, but I think a really important part is it's the ability to shut down business as usual. Students can do that well. Workers can really shut down the flow of profits. And that's really how we can, provide the basis for both like win demands, but also provide the basis for a whole new society, which is socialism. Sorry, that was a bit of a yappage.
We're providing the basis for a whole new society, and that society is socialism. And by the way, that particular person who just said that, he is a student at Yale. I didn't put that in the video. He was chairing the entire meeting. The chair of the Socialist Alternative meeting, who says our purpose is to create a socialist society, is a student at Yale.
Hi, yeah, I'm Samir. I'm a member of Socialist Alternative in Milwaukee. And I was planning to come in on that question about like what is the point of the walkout? I think like the people who spoke before me like motivated that really well. But there is a little more to add because like, yeah, when you go on a walkout or organize a protest, or as we're working towards these solidarity actions with the Minneapolis strike, like your audience isn't actually just like the ruling class. You're not just putting the ruling class on notice. You're also like spreading the idea of going on a general strike, to your own city, or if it's, if you're organizing a walkout, that could be inspiring walkouts, in other schools in your area. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about like, Milwaukee's already had a couple spontaneous student walkouts at a number of different high schools, which is really positive. But they could be improved even farther if like multiple schools were to walk out, at the same time and to coordinate. And I think this is something that's been brought up before in the conversation, but just to like sort of concretely talk about like what we're doing to make that happen. If you're like looking to connect with people at other schools in your area, or whether that's like students or teachers, like keep an eye out for like what other sort of protests and actions are going on, because there's a good opportunity to meet people. We attended like a local school board meeting where there was a number of students who were showing up to like protest against over policing in schools, and the people there were drawing out the very natural connection between like the over policing that's happening in schools and like the looming threat of ICE presence, just like contributing to like a really serious atmosphere of fear in the schools. And that was an opportunity. We met like people from 2 different local high schools as well as teachers. And yeah, like there are activist teachers.
Oh yeah, there are activist teachers? You don't say. The little socialists on this call are flat out saying we're working with the teachers to do this anti-ICE shit because there are activist teachers. You don't say. I'm shocked by this revelation. Hey, anti-commie, I'm sure Karlyn has guns. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, we have guns. We have multiple guns. We have big guns. We have small guns. Fun fact, my husband also has a knife collection. My husband's a little autistic and sometimes he gets fixated on things. And when my husband gets fixated on things, all of a sudden that thing becomes a collection of some sort. My husband has a Legos collection, an RC car collection, a watch collection, and fun fact, a rather robust knife collection. My husband also has a crossbow that I got him for Christmas one year. And so we have both guns and weapons and purses in my house. We have limited edition purses and guns and knives and even a crossbow.
That like will help to like mobilize their students to events or help motivate like joining a protest to them, so they can also like play a positive role in making a walkout happen.
Hi, I'm Clara. I'm from Sunrise Twin Cities McAllister Hub, from McAllister College in St. Paul, Minnesota. We were all on break the past months.
Obviously I use my purses, obviously, but I also display them like pieces of art that I can just sit back and enjoy and look at. But yes, I do in fact use the purses I buy in the real world.
So we were all watching like all these horrors from afar while our city hub in Minneapolis that formed just this summer was doing some super amazing work with the Wide Awake protests and was able to actually have some successes within Hilton and a lot of other really cool things. People in Minnesota have been organizing, especially Unidos, rapid response networks on the ground since pretty much last spring. So we were lucky to early this
Organizing
fall
since
run
last spring.
some resistance trainings in collaboration with Unidos to get our communities ready and on signal chats and in rapid response groups to know how to properly observe ICE, which is definitely proven to be useful. And like as you've already probably seen, like the community has been really great when it comes to like us supporting our neighbors. For this Friday, it's like, yeah, I think it's turning into a bigger thing than we all had expected, which is great. I came late from this call. I was previously on a call for, I believe it was the University Professors Union. There are about 200.
Oh, this is wild. This is wild. Check this out. The socialist student activists are working with the University Professors Union. Did you guys know the university professors have a union? They do. They use it to do leftist organizing on college campuses. They're working with the University Professors Union, and over 200 university professors in the greater Minneapolis area have committed that they are walking out with the students tomorrow. They're canceling their classes. And actually, some of those professors, and you're going to hear her say everything I'm saying to you right now, some of those professors are canceling their classes so that they can do an anti-ICE resistance training. Or they're also having a workshop on campus where they're getting everyone together and everyone is going to call the Hilton and book refundable hotel rooms. So those rooms are booked out so that ICE can't book them. And then they're all going to cancel those hotel rooms at the last minute. And they're doing all of this as a little club at the colleges and universities with the professors. I'm just going to rewind this a little bit so you guys can really get full enjoyment out of what you're about to hear. She's going to say everything I just said to you.
The community has been really great when it comes to like us supporting our neighbors. For this Friday, it's like, yeah, I think it's turning into a bigger thing than we all had expected, which is great. I came late from this call. I was previously on a call for, I believe it was the University Professors Union. There are about 200 students and professors from the state of Minnesota that were planning on striking. A bunch of local restaurants and grocery stores in my neighborhood will be closed. Most professors are emailing that they're canceling classes. For our hub specifically, we're planning on running an anti-ICE observation training at 10 a.m. like in the morning, as well as we're doing this kind of call-in action where we like book. It's a whole strategy that Sunrise Twin Cities has been doing, but basically you can like book refundable.
You got 1 minute left, just so you know.
Oh, sorry. Book refundable reservations on hotels so that like it's booked out so ICE can't stay in them. So we're going to be doing that, and then we're also going to be doing an art build. Then McAllister at my school, we're doing a strike on campus, and then we're all going to the downtown Minneapolis protest. But yeah, I think it's going to be a big day in the cities on Friday, and I'm really excited.
So that's what they're doing on college campuses, guys. The professors on college campuses are facilitating all this garbage. How does everyone feel about that? And by the way, many of those professors work for taxpayer-funded institutions, so your taxes are paying for this. Hey, I missed some super chats over on Rumble. I'm very sorry I did that. The chat flew off my screen. Carl from Effectual Insurrection. Karlyn, I love tards that feel so special. They tell the host what to do on their own show. MFers wonder why they broke. LOL, Gucci is my favorite name, starts with a G. By the way, Sonic asked me to, I don't know what that last one is, Effectual Insurrection, but thank you for the money. I appreciate it. Oh, you're saying the audio's breaking? Well, you guys are just gonna have to deal with the audio. Here is what I found. Here is what I found. When people complain about the audio, like 9 times out of 10, it's really not as bad as you guys are saying it is. So I'm not gonna fix anything. It sounds fine to me. Whatever. If there are mass complaints, I will do something about it. If there are not mass complaints, then I don't care. Everyone's just gonna have to manage. Effectual insurrection. Yeah, people are now saying the audio is fine. So literally shut the fuck up. Effectual insurrection. Blue sky is filled with soy boys and leftists who are pretentious, fake, and gay. Thank you, Dr. Karlyn. Did you see my prior rant? I apologize for missing it. Alpha, thank you for what you do. Thank you for the super chat, Alpha. I apologize, Rumble. I have the chat on my screen again. Yeah, best audio on YouTube. Yeah, see, most professional. The most professional streamer.
Go ahead. Okay, so
Oh, check this
I
out.
actually just got a message and kind of freaking out because I don't know what to do about it. My friends have just informed me that they are thinking about counter-protesting us and bringing American flags. We had the idea of bringing more American flags and taking back the flag, but what do you think we should do? Because I just came across this and I'm not sure myself.
Leila, I have a random idea. So if we see anyone with an American flag, easy thing, we either A, kick them out, or we can B, embarrass them until they feel the need to leave.
Guys, what do, and by the way, this was in a breakout session within the, so what happened was they had everyone in one full Zoom call, and then they broke everyone out into breakout groups. And so this is the breakout group that I was in. Again, no one else was recording this stuff. Guys, what do we do if people show up to our protests with American flags to counter protest? We kick them out or make fun of them until they leave. They're also about to say, or we're going to chant in their faces until they leave. Listen. And actually, I'll rewind that a little bit so everyone can hear it again, just in case.
I'm freaking out because I don't know what to do about it. My friends have just informed me that they are thinking about counter-protesting us and bringing American flags. We had the idea of bringing more American flags and taking back the flag, but what do you think we should do? Because
I just want to point something out real quick. Sorry. It seems as though the ICE facility in Minneapolis has now constructed an entire fucking fence with which to keep the anti-ICE protesters out of the road. That's actually a really smart thing to do. This actually could be the solution to the anti-ICE protesting problem in Minneapolis. They just built a giant fence to corral all of the anti-ICE protesters into one place so they can yell, they can scream, they can complain, they can play loud music, they can do whatever the fuck they want. And as long they created a border, they created a wall to keep the anti-ICE protesters contained so that they don't run into the road and disrupt operations. That is well done, ICE facility. That is actually a plan that might work. Hey, thanks, Mama. Appreciate it. Thank you for all your hard work. This won't buy a new purse, but it might be a great beer for Friday night. Hey, I will take the beer, and I really do appreciate it. Although you would be surprised on what you could get at Whatnot. I no joke, bought a luxury wallet for $1 like a week ago. How did that happen, you ask? I happened to be in an auction where they were auctioning off a lot of luxury wallets, and they were doing dollar starts, and a wallet came up, and it's super pretty, and it has sparkle and all sorts of like flowers and shit like that. It's a really pretty wallet. Literally no one else bid on it except for me, and I won it for $1. So in fact, your super chat could buy me a wallet. True story. Hey, Dottie girl! Thanks for the 5 channel memberships. I appreciate it, Donnie girl. Thanks so much.
I just came across this and I'm not sure myself.
Leila, I have a random idea. So if we see anyone with an American flag, easy thing, we either A, kick them out, or we can B, embarrass
Another
them
one.
until
Got
they
another
feel
one.
the need to leave.
We got another one. It's another retard. We're trying to do important shit, retards. Like, stop interrupting our stream. Hang on. I don't even know what's going on anymore, but Miranda Blissey literally told me to ask you this. She messaged me sounding mad. Where did you post her video? I followed her forever. This is confusing. Okay. I still don't know who this person is. I still have no idea who this person is.
Just came across this and I'm not sure myself.
Leila, I have a random idea. So if we see anyone with an American flag, easy thing, we either A, kick them out, or we can B, embarrass them until they feel the need to leave.
I was thinking more something peaceful.
So I could jump on and kind of, I found that, so my experience, I attended some of the encampments while they were going on at Northwestern University on the north side of Chicago, Evanston really. And there were like counter protesters at those things. And I think that, you know, keeping each other safe and like being aware of your surroundings and that kind of stuff is always like the most important part. Like even if you are a small group, looking out for each other and knowing when it is to like get away so you are not in imminent danger is really important. But I found that like, you know, having really strong chants, like oftentimes we'll be like stand up, fight back, and like that kind of chant, it's very easy, it gets people going, it gets people loud.
They did. Thank you.
That's like a very, and it also like brings like solidarity, you know, together in that moment.
Yeah, I feel like in our group, we talked about a lot of great things. Like, we talked about the rapid response efforts in Minneapolis that are going on right now, and how like taking like those defensive sorts of actions are like really important in suppressing like ICE and everything. But like what's really going to like kick out ICE of all of our cities is going to be like more offensive, like strike actions, walkouts, of course. Like, I would also like to say, like, to the earlier point, like why really do we walk out? It's like I feel like you know, in New Haven specifically, like we organized a walkout that won nearly like with a bunch of different high schools from across the New Haven public schools when their funding was being cut, and we won like nearly half of their funding back from that. And you know, I really feel like the students and like the youth layers specifically are usually like the first ones to be organized and radicalized, and are really like play a role in pushing the masses into struggle. So yeah, and I also feel like, you know, we also talked about like, I guess a little bit of like the pessimism like people might have for like the time to organize for this walkout. But I really feel like, you know, the time kind of feels like now to be organizing for a lot of
Hey,
like my friends.
welcome to the cult, Samantha. Your life is over. We control you now. You're never leaving. But you know, you're gonna have friends during the Marxist revolution. So welcome. We appreciate you supporting the channel.
And a lot of people on campus, like I've never felt such a, you know, such a revolutionary vibe in the air. So and yeah, so I guess that's a little bit about what we talked about, but yeah.
We've talked a lot about like how walkouts have been successful historically, and also like how important it is that Minneapolis is going on strike on the 23rd. Again, like it has, even the generation of the 60s of all the hippies who were so radical, they didn't do a general strike. And like, that's something that is so many generations removed from us, and is like a really powerful tool of the working class. And it's like a massive escalation in our use of power. And I think like we should be really excited and see this as super like historical. And I think we also talked about like what sort of demands would work at our schools. My sister actually, she organized a walkout in LA at a high school where a student was detained by ICE. And it ended up like becoming like almost 1,000 people. It was huge. But when they were there, like the principal would come out and he would be like, and you have to stay on the sidewalk. And like if they got too close to like the curb of the school, it would technically be on school property, and he would be like, you have to stay on the sidewalk. And it's like, if our principals are really being that litigious about us walking out, or like asking students to walk out, like we must be doing something right with a walkout, you know? And I think like the capitalist system is very invested in us, not realizing how much power we have as workers and students. And that's because if we knew how much power we had, this wouldn't be the system we lived in. And so a walkout helps them visualize it. And it also shows workers like, we'll have your backs if you go on strike. We know how to do this. It's practice. Movements need to be built. They don't start massive. They start small and then they grow, and they don't grow at even rates. And they have, speed bumps, and then they also have moments where they accelerate rapidly beyond when you and you feel like you're like in a million Zoom meetings and writing a million speeches and stuff, like me this week. And it's like things are happening really quickly, and it's really exciting. But these are like the sort of things that, as like people who are thinking about politics and thinking about how we can make our schools and our workplaces better, that we need to be, stepping up and planning for. I would really love if any of the people from the high school in Ohio, in Cincinnati, would want to stay back and be connected with some of our Cincinnati members who would, maybe I bet they're also pretty busy right now, but I know they would love to talk to some high schoolers who are potentially interested in organizing a walkout. If you were interested in like getting more deep into political organizing, or if the ideas that socialist alternative members have been putting out feel like they're resonating with your political, kind of where you're headed.
So guys, that is the full highlight reel that I recorded last night without any help from any retards on the internet who think they know everything. That is the full video that we recorded last night. Now, I just want to do a quick pause here. How do people feel about the things they heard on that video? Again, this was a live student activist training that took place last night on the internet. How do people feel about what they just heard? Is everyone comfortable with this? Is everyone comfortable with the things they heard on this video? Are you guys surprised? Are you surprised but not really surprised? How do you feel about how overtly these young people, who are the ones causing a lot of the problems in Minneapolis, who are the ones organizing the college encampments, who are the ones that are doing the pro-Palestine protesting, who are the ones that are inevitably going to be in the streets when it gets warmer again and they try to set off some shit show over the summer? How do you guys feel about this? Does this make everyone feel good? This is reality, guys. This is reality. When I record these calls, I don't disrupt them. I literally just record them doing exactly what they do all the time. All the time. And so that's one of the things I do on this channel. I go inside these live calls, I record them, and guess what? If you missed it last night, we have another spy stream that's going to be starting in about 45 minutes. So, for those of you who didn't get to attend spy stream last night, we have another socialist anti-ICE organizing call tonight in 45 minutes. Who wants to come attend that call with me? Who wants to come watch the call? Thanks, KK, for the super chat. I think a lot of people are underestimating them. Oh, I think a lot of people are underestimating them too. Yeah, 100%. So guys, here is what you need to do if you want to attend the call tonight. Spy Stream is a supporter exclusive stream. You must be a supporter on one of the following platforms. My main Substack, karlyn.substack.com. My locals, which also includes my Rumble channel members. You can access this content through locals. I couldn't do a Rumble member stream last night. I don't know how to do it. Maybe I have to use Rumble Studio or something, but that didn't work out. But all Rumble channel members can access Spy Stream by going to my locals, and the post is pinned to the very top. You can be a subscriber on Twitter. You can be a Patreon supporter, or my personal favorite at the moment, you can be a YouTube channel member. If you are a YouTube channel member, you will be able to access Spy Stream. What you need to do is go to my channel homepage, and I'll show you exactly where to do it for people who don't know how to do this. In order to find the Spy Stream information on YouTube, you go to the channel homepage, you click on the post tab. I'll make this a little bit bigger. You click on the post tab right there. And when you are a YouTube channel member, you will see the Spy Stream information. I'm not a channel member on this account, so you don't see it on this account, but you will see the Spy Stream information. So I have a little challenge I would like to do. We have about half hour, 40 minutes left. And one of the things I want to do is I want to watch JD Vance's speech from Minnesota today. So we're going to be spending the rest of our time seeing what exactly JD Vance said in Minnesota today, which I think is important. Guys, for the next 45 minutes, can we get 100 new channel memberships in the next 45 minutes? And the reason I say that is there are 600 people watching on YouTube right now. I'm sure there's a bunch of people watching over on Rumble. Can we get 100 new channel memberships in the next 45 minutes between 600 people? Let me tell you how that could work out. It could be 100 of you buy one channel membership, either for yourself or as a gift for someone else. It could be that 20 of you buy 5 channel memberships and you give them out to the community because you are a very generous person that wants more people to attend Spy Stream. It could be that 20 of you, well, it could be that, let me do math. Hang on. I can't do math. We already got one new channel member. Welcome to the channel, Cody. We really appreciate it. It could be that 2 of you buy 50 channel memberships and give them out. That'd be pretty great. It could be that 5 of you buy 20 channel memberships. Can we get a combined total in the next 45 minutes of 99 more channel memberships now that Cody's a member? Guys, let me know if you're up for the challenge of that. One of the reasons I really love it when people gift out channel memberships is you're not only supporting the channel, you are also supporting other people who might not be able to afford this type of experience. We got Cynthia in. Cynthia, massive W's, 10 channel memberships. So we already got 11. We're already like 11% of the way there. We got 5 more from IM. Thank you, Suzanne. W for Suzanne in the chat. Now we're up to like 16. You guys are going to make me do math, aren't you? We got a new member of Whiskey Girl. That's going to be 17 roughly channel memberships that have been bought. I believe in you guys. We just need we need 20 people to give 5 channel memberships. There's 600 people watching on the channel. And I believe in you guys. You can do it. Support the work I'm doing. Also get access to Spy Stream. And I'm just going to let that roll because we got to watch JD Vance. I want to know what JD Vance said today. I got to find the stream from Cam Higbee because he streamed it live. Let me go. You guys work on that channel membership bit, and I'm gonna bring up JD Vance. Yo, we got 7 in with the 5 gifted channel memberships. What is that? Like 22? I think we're up to 22. We're already 22% of the way there. Guys, Rumble channel memberships count as well. I'm just saying. We got another member here. I don't know how to say your name, but welcome to the cult, bro. That's awesome. That's 23. We got ITM here, 1 gifted channel membership. That's 24. We got Brown Barbaloot with 5 gifted channel memberships. W's in the chat to everyone buying channel memberships and gifting channel memberships. Really appreciate you guys. That's 29. We got Casual Cat. We're up to 30%. Look at this, guys. We got Alex in with the 10. That's up to 40%. W's in the chat. Everyone who's buying channel memberships. This is awesome. Supporting the community, spreading this information around, making sure people are paying attention. We got Brittany here, so we're up to 41. You guys are going to make me do math in my head, and I hate you for it. I hate you for it more than I can say. All right, we are 41% of the way to our goal, guys. Let's tune in and see what JD Vance had to say today, and we will listen to this for the rest of the time. And I believe in you. I know we can get, we are 41, so we need 59 more channel memberships, and let's see if we can hit that goal. I would appreciate it.
I'm thinking about them and their families quite a bit. Now, to talk about what I am here to do, which is federal law enforcement to enforce our immigration laws, I want to say just a few things. First of all, I wanted to meet with business leaders, with ICE officers, with local law enforcement to try to understand a little bit better what's going on, so that we can tone down the temperature a little bit, reduce the chaos, but still allow us as a federal government to enforce the American people's immigration laws. That is the purpose of my visit. Now, this is step 1 or step 2 of that process.
Thank you, Wolf. W for Wolf.
I'm happy to talk about that. But I think I learned a few things that were very important. So number one of the things I learned is that the guys behind me are doing an incredible job. And frankly, a lot of the media is lying about the job that they do every single day. Now, it doesn't mean that there aren't occasionally stories out there, there aren't occasionally videos out there that suggest that these guys, or at least some of the people who work for them, are not doing everything right. But very often, if you look at the context of what's going on, you understand that these people are under an incredible amount of duress, an incredible amount of chaos, and because of a few...
We got 10 from Died Suddenly, giving us 52 channel memberships. Guys, we are halfway to the goal. We are more than halfway to the goal. W's in the chat for Died Suddenly. Really appreciate the contribution, bro. Really awesome. Okay. We need, Cynthia in with 10 gifted channel memberships. Thank you, Queen Cynthia of the chat. W's for Cynthia. We are up to 62, guys. We are so close. We are so close. We got 1 becoming a member of the cult. Welcome to the cult, bro. 63. What does that mean? We need 37 more, guys. We are running down the hill now. We were running up the hill for a while. We are now running down the hill. So we need 37 more. What does that equate to? 6 of you giving 5 channel memberships, or 2 of you giving 20 channel memberships? We're like so close, guys. We need like 37 more or something like that.
Very far left agitators, a lot of these guys are unable to do their jobs without being harassed, without being doxxed, and sometimes without being assaulted. That's totally unacceptable. And that's one of the things that I want to send a message to is, yes, come out and protest.
Malcolm in with the 10 gifted channel memberships. Malcolm, what does that bring us up to? 73? Am I doing math correctly? Are we up to 73 now? We got It's in with another 5 channel memberships. W for It's, we're up to 78 now. Guys, we need 22 more. I promise you, I will not ask you for money for the rest of the stream if we get 22 more channel memberships. 22. If one person buys 20 and another 2 people buy 1, that's the ball game. If 5 of you buy 5 channel memberships, that's the ball game. 22 more to meet the goal. It's easy. We totally got this. I believe in you guys.
Me, protest our immigration policy, but do it peacefully. If you assault a law enforcement officer, the Trump administration and the Department of Justice is going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
Don't worry about it,
And
little
I wanted to
miss.
show
I
some support for
appreciate
these
you.
guys who, frankly, are
I appreciate you very much. Guys, listen, if you cannot financially afford to give, I never want you to feel bad. I really do mean that. We have an amazing community here. We have a community that supports each other. If you can't afford to give right now, that's totally cool. You want to know why? Because other people in the community will. Because I know that other people in the community want everyone to have access to Spy Stream. We got Anti-Commie in with the 5 gifted channel memberships. We got Mike becoming a YouTube channel member. Welcome to the cult, bro. What does that bring us up to? Someone help me with the math. Is that 79, 84? Are we at 84 now? Am I doing the math correctly? We're so close, guys.
operating in a very, very tough environment. I heard a lot of
Got
stories
another
today
one, another one. You know what? I'm not even gonna turn the sound on again until we finish this challenge. We got another one. What are we up to? Like they're 90. We got Misters in with becoming a YouTube channel member. Guys, we need like 10 more. We need 10 more. We need one hero. We just need one hero to gift 10 channel memberships to the chat, and we will have met the challenge. Or 2 heroes gifting 5. What do you guys want to do? What do you guys want to do? Let me make sure I've got the Rumble chat up. I don't see any memberships coming in on Rumble. That's okay. That's okay. Tim with the Rumble rant. This one's for Michelle Blissy. These fucking retards go after people with zero context. Hell, the context doesn't even make sense. I know, bro. I know. Yo, we got Effectual Insurrection with 5 memberships over on Rumble. Are you guys going to let Rumble get this across the finish line, guys? Are you guys... She mistakened me with Amanda Moore? How in the ever... Are you guys retarded? How in the ever-loving fuck did she mistake me with Amanda Moore? You guys are way too dumb to be on my channel. You need to depart. You need to... Cynthia does it! Cynthia! The queen of the channel. Cynthia putting us over the top, getting us to our goal. Cynthia, the goddess that sprinkles out channel memberships. Congrats, guys. We did it. We did it. You all did it. We're still doing it. Look at that. We are even going over. We're going over the goal. We got Debbie in with the 5 gifted channel memberships. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting the channel. The memberships really do help out. And I really do love that we have over 100 new people that are going to be able to join us for Spy Stream in like half an hour so that they're going to be able to go inside the live training as well. Thank you, Karen, for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. You guys rock. This is the best community on the internet. Mount the like button if you agree. And now I will not ask you guys for money for the rest of the stream, and we will listen to JD Vance say whatever JD Vance wants to say. Sound good to everyone? All right, let's enjoy.
About that I think drives home just how chaotic the environment on the ground here has already gotten. For example, did you know that within the last, I think, week or so, maybe even more recently than that, you had a couple of ICE officers who were off duty, who have been doxxed online, who were sitting and having a meal at a restaurant in Minneapolis when a bunch of agitators showed up, locked the door, made them feel like they were in danger for their lives. And then, of course, it was federal law enforcement officers who had to come up, lower the temperature on the situation, and actually get those two off-duty officers to a point of safety. Now imagine, if you would, your life and your perspective on law enforcement if you can't even go to a restaurant without some agitators locking the door and making you feel like your life is in danger. That is the environment that has been created, I think, by a lot of very, frankly, far left people, but also by some of the state and local law enforcement officials who could do a much better job in cooperating and working. And by the way, I'm not talking about the cops, who these guys told me on the ground, the cops are very sympathetic to what they're dealing with. I'm talking about the state and local elected law enforcement officials who could do a lot better job in making their lives a little bit easier. And in the process, they would make the lives of all Minneapolis residents easier. And that's what we want. We want to be able to enforce the immigration laws on the one hand, while on the other hand, we want to make sure that people in Minneapolis are able to go about their day. And I want to say just one last point on this. So I heard from a business leader today who told me a very tough story. And I think so much of what's gone wrong in Minneapolis is people not trying to understand the perspective of somebody else. Try to understand what somebody else is experiencing, whether they're a law enforcement.
Listen, I got to say this about JD Vance. I really do. I got to say this. Like, I understand that this is a horrible freeze frame for JD Vance. Hang on. That's much better. Okay, good. I understand that some people are skeptical of JD Vance. I think there are good reasons to be skeptical of him. I really, really do. I get the grievances that people have, and I get the suspicions, and I get all that. That's, and whatever. What I will say is JD Vance to me comes across as basically one of the most likable and one of the most authentic politicians that I've ever seen. I think JD Vance comes across as just like incredibly human. He doesn't come across as rehearsed. He doesn't come across as like someone who's trying to put together like a certain image, although he's a politician, and never forget that. But like he comes across as someone that's like a normal person that I would have a conversation with. And I like that. I like watching JD Vance talk. I feel like I'm like vibing with him, and I feel like he's just like a normal guy saying, yeah, guys, this happened and this happened and this happened. And like, let's hinge into reality here. And even if there are like concerns about, his contacts and Palantir and all that stuff, which again, I think are very valid concerns, I just think he's a really brilliant politician. And I think that he is absolutely going to be a contender for president in 2028. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And I think that he's incredibly likable to a wide segment of people.
About this manufacturing facility where an illegal immigrant was being arrested. And as these employees are going into the manufacturing facility, all of a sudden an illegal immigrant shows up. They don't know it's an illegal immigrant. And then a bunch of ICE officers descend. Now, these people just want to go to work. They want to go to work safely. And now all of a sudden there's a major law enforcement operation happening right outside their place of business. Now, from one perspective, I certainly understand why a business leader or why an employee would say, well, what's going on? It's a little scary, no matter your position in life, if a bunch of cop cars show up and they're arresting somebody. Now, the additional context is that we know that people online have been encouraging illegal immigrants that one way they can evade arrest is by showing up at a legitimate place of business, making it impossible for these guys to actually enforce our immigration laws.
Yes! Thank you! Holy shit, JD Vance is just laying out what's at. Is it possible that JD Vance is hinged into reality on this in a way that like no one else in the Trump administration is? Is it possible that JD Vance actually understands what's going on? I might be getting prematurely excited by this.
So while I can understand the perspective of somebody who doesn't want to see an arrest happen at their place of work, I can also understand the perspective of our immigration enforcement officers who have to do their job and can't allow a heckler's veto over our immigration enforcement. And so much of what's gone wrong is the failure to do that. And here's the point. We can do a good job of enforcing our immigration laws without the chaos, but it actually requires the cooperation of state and local officials. If you look at blue cities and blue states, red cities and red states, you go to Austin, Texas, or Memphis, Tennessee, you go to the state of Texas, obviously a very red state, or the state of Tennessee, a very red state, but you've got blue cities within those states, you do not have this level of chaos. The reason why things have gotten so out of hand is because of failure of cooperation between the state and local authorities and what these guys are trying to do. We have a ton of resources, a ton of ICE agents in this city right now that I would rather us not have. I'd love to send those guys home. They're not even doing targeted immigration enforcement. They are trying to protect ICE officers who are doing immigration enforcement, because when a crowd surrounds them and these guys call 911, the local officials, the local cops have been told to stand down. So we have people here who aren't even doing immigration enforcement, they're doing force protection. So that if a rioter tries to ruin the life or assault an ICE officer, they're actually protected. Now, why doesn't it make more sense for the local cops to get involved in that situation? Why not just have the mayor or the local officials tell the police officers, you know what? If an ICE officer is being assaulted by a far left agitator, you are invited. You should actually help him. That's what would work out in any normal situation, and that's what happens in nearly every jurisdiction, red or blue, in the United States of America. The reason it hasn't happened here is because the local authorities have been told, stand down. Do not help ICE, promote the violence, promote the agitation, but don't do anything to lower the temperature and lower the chaos. That's a problem. Here's another example of how the lack of cooperation between state and local officials makes it harder for us to do our job and turns up the temperature. Let's say, for example, we have a criminal migrant who is a sex offender. And let's say that we've got to go and arrest that person who, Democrat or Republican, wants a sex offender living in their community. I would assume, I would hope that most people don't. But because they're an illegal alien, we don't know their last address. We may have known their address 3 years ago, but we don't know their address now. What we'd like to do is talk to local officials and say, you know what? According to the Medicaid rules, where was the last address this person was domiciled? Or according to a SNAP application, a food stamps application, maybe that could give us insight to where this person is today. Or maybe they had some local court trouble. We could go to the local courthouse or even the local jail and try to find where this criminal sex offender is today. The local authorities have been told, do not cooperate. So these guys are trying to go out and enforce the law. They're trying to arrest sex offenders, but they're trying to do it in an environment where local officials have been told, do not help them, do not provide intelligence about where these sex offenders might be. This is disgraceful. And there are a lot of things that all of us could do better to lower the temperature, but the number one thing that I learned today is the best way to facilitate reasonable enforcement of the law, but also to lower the chaos in Minneapolis, would be for state and local officials to cooperate. Now, I will say, on one final positive note, I actually think that there's some hope, some reason to think that there's going to be better cooperation in the weeks and months to come. I think that because I've talked to some of the local officials here. I think there are reasons to believe that these people are going to step up and actually ask the cops to protect our ICE officers when they're being assaulted, who are going to ask the local courts to cooperate with getting criminal sex offenders out of our community. That's a good thing. That's the good news, and that's something I'm going to work on when I get back to Washington. But please, if you're a local official, if you're the mayor of this town, if you have any influence over those people, just tell them to cooperate. Because we could have immigration enforcement operate as smoothly and without the chaos that we see in Austin, Texas, or Memphis, Tennessee, or even rural parts of the state of Minnesota. All we need is a little cooperation. I guarantee you, we're going to do the best to be professional, to respect people's rights, to not do anything that we don't have to do in order to enforce immigration laws, but it would make our lives a lot easier, it would make our officers a lot safer, and it would make Minneapolis much less chaotic if we had a little bit of cooperation from the state and local officials. With that, I'll shut up and take some questions. Thank you, guys.
A local school district here is alleging ICE agents detained a 5-year-old after preschool on Tuesday. We've also seen multiple American citizens detained by ICE on the last 6 weeks. Are you proud of how your administration is conducting this immigration crackdown here in Minnesota right now?
Well, I'm proud of the fact that we're standing behind law enforcement, and I'm proud of the fact that we're enforcing the country's laws. But, you asked a question about this 5-year-old kid. I actually saw this terrible story while I was coming to Minneapolis. We just left Toledo, Ohio this morning for an economic messaging event. And I see this story, and I'm a father of a 5-year-old, actually, a 5-year-old little boy. And I think to myself, oh my God, this is terrible. How did we arrest a 5-year-old? Well, I did a little bit more follow-up research. And what I find is that the 5-year-old was not arrested, that his dad was an illegal alien. And then when they went to arrest his illegal alien father, the father ran. So
You're telling me the left and the media is twisting information? Say it ain't so.
the story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death? Are they not supposed to arrest an illegal alien in the United States of America? If the argument is that you can't arrest people who have violated our laws because they have children, then every single parent is going to be completely given immunity from ever being the subject of law enforcement. That doesn't make any sense. No one thinks that makes any sense.
Right.
So you know, there are so many of these cases like that where if you just understand the context, there have been a number of situations that I've looked into personally where I say, wait a second, we don't want ICE arresting American citizens.
I'm going to say this again. I think JD Vance is coming across as incredibly likable, incredibly approachable. I think based on what I've seen of this speech so far, this speech is near fucking perfect. I don't think there's anything else. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the rest of it will go downhill from here. I don't think there's anything else that JD Vance could have done better in this situation. However, is the left going to hear any of this? Does the left care about any of this? Do the leftist organizers pushing all this shit, do they care what JD Vance has to say at all? Do the leftist organizers care about context? No, because it's not about the 5-year-old, and it's not about Renee Good, and it's not about any of those things. This is always and forever about the communist revolution. That is all this is about. That is it. And so JD Vance can, and this is a reality that people really need to hinge into. JD Vance can get up there and give the most perfect speech imaginable, which he is doing a brilliant job. He is so good at this. He is so good. None of it's going to matter because the left doesn't care, and they're going to continue doing exactly what they're already doing, and they are going to win because they are highly organized and they outnumber ICE. Currently in Minneapolis, the left has minimally, and I think this is a conservative estimate, 20,000 people organized into those rapid response signal groups. I think that's a conservative estimate of what they have. The left can get people to go out and film ICE within 2 minutes of identifying ICE is in a neighborhood. There are 3,000 ICE agents in Minneapolis. There are 600 police in Minneapolis. There are 20,000 people in the army of rapid response leftist activism. That is what we are talking about here. Does everyone understand the problem? 600 police plus 3,000 ICE agents is no match for 20,000 highly organized, highly active, highly motivated, far left activists. And again, I think that 20,000 number is conservative.
They're supposed to be enforcing the immigration laws against illegal aliens. So then I look into it and I find out that the American citizen who was arrested took a swing at an ICE officer. You can't have that happen. And of course they have to defend themselves. And of course they have the right to detain somebody who assaults a law enforcement officer. Now, this is my point. Do we want these things to happen? Do we want these arrests to be so chaotic? No, we don't. These guys want it least of all. But if we had a little cooperation from local and from local and state officials, I think the chaos would go way down in this community.
He's wrong about that, but okay.
After the Renee Good shooting, sir, the administration seemed to suggest.
Yeah, you can go next.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, I thought you pointed at me. My apologies. So after the Renee Good shooting, sir, the administration seems to After the Renee Good shooting, the administration seemed to suggest that ICE officers enjoyed near complete immunity. But today you told the Washington Examiner that when appropriate, the administration might take disciplinary actions against ICE agents. So is that a change of opinion? And if so, why the change in tone?
No, I didn't say, and I don't think any other official within the Trump administration said that officers who engaged in wrongdoing would enjoy immunity. That's absurd. What I did say is that when federal law enforcement officers violate the law, that is typically something that federal officials would look into. We don't want these guys to have kangaroo courts. We want them to actually have real due process, real investigation, because again, sometimes they're accused of wrongdoing, and it turns out when you learn the context, they didn't actually do anything wrong. But of course, we're going to investigate these things. Of course, we're investigating the Renee Good shooting, but we're investigating them in a way that respects people's rights and then ensures that if somebody did something wrong, yes, they're going to face disciplinary action, but we're not going to judge them in the court of public opinion. I've spoken at length on this particular case. I think that Renee Good's death is a tragedy. I also think that she ran an ICE officer with her car. So the tragedy here is multi-layered. The tragedy is there was a misunderstanding. The tragedy is that Renee Good lost her life. The tragedy is that you have ICE officers who are going into communities where they're worried that if they call 911, no one's going to come to help them. That is what produces this terrible situation, and it's something state and local officials here in Minnesota could solve.
Hey guys, I see people in the chat talking about wanting to buy my books. I'm currently working on more books. I think the very best one to start with, if I could give you a recommendation, is I will show it to you. Hang on. So if I could offer a recommendation of the first book that I would buy, and honestly, can I get some more reviews on Amazon? Why the fuck do I only have 4 stars? Oh, because people gave me a 1-star review because they're communists. Guys, if you have bought my book, A Communist Manifesto, A Revolutionary Fairy Tale, please make sure you are leaving a positive review on Amazon because, quite frankly, there are communists that will leave negative reviews because they're fucking communists. But if you're looking for a book of mine to buy, this is the one I would start out with. It is a dystopian fairy tale based on the Communist Manifesto. I'm very happy with the book. I think it's one of the best things I've ever written. And I'm working on books now specifically to help with the re-education program and stuff like that. But if you're looking for, and I'm only saying this because people in the chat were mentioning my books, that is the one I would recommend buying. And leave a review, will ya? If all the communists leave the reviews, I'm going to have horrible reviews. I need good people to leave reviews too. Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys being interested.
Could you give us a message towards March for Life tomorrow, especially regarding this cooperation and family values? It's a shame the kids have to get caught up in all this, and towards that, sir.
Well, it is a shame that kids have to get caught up in this. I am speaking at March for Life tomorrow. I'm pro-life, and I'm very excited to speak there. I want to talk about local law enforcement, but, I am, as a child, I saw people in my family get arrested. It's terrible. It's heartbreaking. It's chaotic. It's traumatic for the kids. I can recognize that, and I can recognize that we got to support these kids, while on the other hand, saying that just because you're a parent doesn't mean that you get complete immunity from law enforcement. And I think we have to hold both of those thoughts in our head at the same time. We've got to be sympathetic to the kids who are caught up in some of these enforcement actions. We've also got to say we have to enforce the law without bias, with fairness, but we've got to enforce the law.
Mr. Vice President. Speaking about local government, there was a clash in St. Cloud a few weeks ago, and their mayor said they haven't heard about this being in the city. And how does ICE and properly work with these local agencies? What are those policies and what's your response to that?
You said there was an altercation in St. Cloud. Yeah.
After the incident, the mayor said that ICE did not communicate with them. They were in the city for a major operation. Police chief did not know about the operation. Can you talk a little bit about proactive communication?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the takeaways. I've talked with these guys before we came on the stage, but during our roundtable and some of the other conversations we've had. Communication, we absolutely want to ensure there's good communication between federal officials and state and local officials, and I'm sure that we can do better on that. We absolutely want to make sure that we are communicating, but that also requires a two-way street, and that's the point that I make about state and local officials. These guys will absolutely communicate with state and local officials. They'll tell people if they have to do an enforcement operation in a particular municipality, but part of that is they also want to ensure that if they're communicating about their whereabouts, that's not being used as a weapon against them. Sometimes they tell people where they're going, and then they find out that their agents' faces are on the, on Reddit or on some social media thread saying, here's this guy, we know he's going to be at this place at this exact time. So that communication has got to be a two-way street. These guys are going to communicate with business leaders, with local officials, with state officials. We also need the local officials and state officials to do a good job of protecting people when they're in their communities. We're not asking, by the way, we don't want any police officer in this community, in this state, to help us do immigration enforcement. We've got that.
Mr. Vice President.
But if a protester shows up and that protester turns violent against our immigration officers, we really, really need the cooperation of our local partners. We haven't gotten it yet, but I think if we do, we really can lower the temperature.
Mr. Vice President.
Yeah, so I saw that story, and the story is like so much that I read in the mainstream media, it's missing a whole lot of context, and when you appreciate the context, it makes sense. No one is saying, look, there are exceptions. For example, a crazy exception, if somebody is fired at from inside a house, they don't need a warrant to go inside that person's house. There are very narrow exceptions to the warrant requirement where law enforcement officers don't need a warrant if, for example, they're an imminent threat of their lives. But what we've said and what ICE has proposed, what the Department of Homeland Security really has proposed in the Department of Justice, is that we can get administrative warrants to enforce administrative immigration law. Now, it's possible, I guess, that the courts will say no, and of course, if the courts say no, we would follow that law, but nobody is talking about doing immigration enforcement without a warrant. We're talking about different types of warrants that exist in our system. Typically what happens, not always, but typically in the immigration system, those are handled by administrative law judges. So we're talking about getting warrants from those administrative law judges. And then, of course, with other cases, you get judges or you get warrants from a judge. That's very consistent with the practice of American law. I'm sure the courts will weigh in on that, but we're never going to enter somebody's house without some kind of a warrant, unless, of course, somebody's firing on an officer or they have to do something in order to protect.
Mr. Vice President.
With an administrative warrant, or would that be a violation?
Well, our understanding is that
Yeah, Master Shake, I want to read that with people. We just don't have time to do it today, but I know what you're talking about.
you can enforce the immigration laws of the country under an administrative order if you have an administrative warrant. That's what we think. That's our understanding of the law. That's our best faith attempt to understand the law.
We'll read that tomorrow. Actually, you know what? We got to wrap up anyway. So, Master Shake, we'll read that document tomorrow on the stream. That is definitely something I want to read. What we're talking about for people who aren't following the chat on YouTube, Master Shake is talking about a latest propaganda piece that's come out from Antifa. I definitely want to read it with you guys. We just didn't have time today because it needs a more thorough analysis. But guess what? We're streaming basically all day tomorrow. So we're going to have plenty of time to read it together tomorrow on stream. So we will do that tomorrow. But sadly, we are going to have to cut the rest of this stream a little short. I mean, overall, based on what I saw of JD Vance's performance, I don't know that there's anything else he could have done. Maybe the press conference just went downhill from there. But his statement was excellent. Like he did that. That was everything I saw. Like, I have no criticism of JD Vance at all in this moment. And you guys know how rare it is for me to have no criticism of JD Vance. Okay? So guys, sadly though, we do need to depart because we need to shut down this stream so we can get our spy stream started. Now, I want to remind everyone that everyone in theory that supports my work on a platform should have access to spy stream. If you are a supporter on my Substack, you can find the link on my Substack, okay? And I'm not gonna show you down past a certain point, but like, just if you're a Substack supporter, you need to scroll past this information and you will find the link on Substack. Okay, I can't scroll down there because I don't want non-supporters to see the information. So that's where you can find it. If you are a Rumble channel member, you should be able to access the link through Rumble. And J. Lou, we got to get that problem solved, bro, because I definitely want you to be able to come to spy streams because I really do appreciate all the support you've given the channel. If you are a Twitter subscriber, you can find it there. If you are a regular Locals member, you can find it there. If you are a Patreon supporter, you can find it there. And if you are a YouTube channel member or one of the lucky, actually, we got way more than 100. We got total gifts today on the channel on YouTube. We have 123 new channel members on YouTube today. And I want all of those 123 channel members and everyone else who is a member of the channel, I want you guys to come to Spy Stream. Maybe you can't come today, but you can come another day. Spy Streams are always available after the fact. And we want to make sure we're honoring the gifts that are given out to the channel. So make sure you use them. Spy Stream is unique content that you will literally not find anywhere else on the internet. There is no one else doing this on the internet. So if you are a YouTube channel member or you have been gifted a new channel membership, and again, thank you to everyone who gifted channel memberships today, go to my YouTube channel homepage, click on the post tab, and for all YouTube channel members, you will see the Spy Stream information in the post tab, okay? So I got to shut down this stream so I can start up Spy Stream. And if anyone has any questions or anything, or you guys have trouble, please reach out to me. I want to make sure everyone who is supporting my work does have a way to access Spy Stream, because it's quite frankly the coolest thing that I do, I think, personally. So that's going to wrap it up for us today, guys. I am planning on streaming pretty much all day tomorrow. So make sure you are tuned in. I think it's going to be a big day of mass action, even though it's going to be very cold. They are still having a giant rally in the Target Center in Minneapolis. So hopefully the streaming boys can get their butts over there and stream it for us. I'm sure there will be video coming out of it. They're going to want as many people as possible to see it. So I will be covering it live. And when there's not action, I do want to cover some Antifa propaganda on the channel tomorrow, so you can see what Antifa is writing about this, how Antifa is communicating with other far left radicals all over the country. We'll just read their propaganda and we'll analyze it. Should be a good day. Should be a cold day too. So I hope everyone stays warm. And if you're in the South and you're getting snow, please stay the fuck off the roads. Listen, I live in New Hampshire. I grew up in Vermont. I've been driving in the snow since I was 15 years old. We know how to drive in the snow up here. You idiots don't know how to drive in the snow in the South. So please, everyone just stay home. Don't be a fucking hero. You guys don't know what you're doing, especially the men. The men are going to think they know how to drive in the snow, but they've never really driven in snow before. And so they're going to end up going off the road or getting in an accident or something like that. No, you Southerners don't know what you're doing. I don't feel sorry for you. We have to deal with winter every year. The South has to deal with, it's so funny. The South has to deal with actual winter for like 3 days out of the year, and they freak the fuck out and their entire society shuts down. I live in New England, motherfuckers. I actually don't have sympathy for you, but just stay off the roads and don't be an idiot, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow for our stream. I will see my Spy streamers on the other side. Take care, guys. We'll see you.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here? 3 months, May 17th. And what brought you here? That's difficult to answer. I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.